and welcome back to Celebrity with Nene. So I'm Nene, and today I have Reese B and Jerome, and we will be recapping two episodes of Love After Lockup today. So first we're going to start out with episode 47, and then we'll jump into episode 48. So if you only want to see episode 48, I'm going to put the timestamp of when we start episode 48 in the comments so that you can just skip ahead in the video. Or you can just watch us talk about both episodes, whichever way you want to do it. All right. So, episode 47, it started out, the first couple we saw was Sean and Sarah. Okay, so we see Sarah is like on the way to go visit her mom. She tells her mom what happened with her and Sean as far as her whole baby daddy. And because we know she had been keeping it a secret that she had been meeting up and seeing her baby daddy and allowing the little girl to see her baby daddy. And then we see that Sean is on the phone with his brother, telling his brother, what has happened. And so it's just the scene is just flipping back and forth between the two interactions between the two. And so Sarah, she's telling her mom that she loves Sean and, she hates that she lied to him in hopes that he doesn't leave her because she doesn't want things to end between them. Um, Sean's brother is trying to tell him that right now there's a lot of red flags with Sarah. So, kind of just watch out, bro, or whatever. And Sean, he's worried that Anthony will try to make moves on Sarah, right? And Sarah ends up going home and they're just kind of awkward towards each other while they're at the house with each other. They're in separate rooms, they're eating separately, just doing just the awkwardness of having had a big fight about secrets. So, thoughts on Sarah and Sean in this episode? Anybody?
Well, uh, well, my biggest thing between Sarah and Sean is that Sarah is it's like she's saying, "Yeah, I know this. I did this. My bad," and just wants to immediately move forward. And she makes it about the child, which is true, but she still leaves out the part about I yeah, they've been meeting and my mom knows about it, which I know mom feels bad at this point because she really didn't want to do it, but that's a child. But she still leaves out the part that, yeah, well, I did this. He did sit here and was trying to make little innuendos that, hey, maybe we could make another run at it. And I don't care if you're married. I don't like that part. If you're going to tell it all. And and then also she's pretty much like when they're talking to each other, just pretty much like, well, I'm glad I told you. It's like, no, you was put on the spot. So don't act like you just voluntarily came forward. Uh, so I'm still not feeling uh Sarah because it is that's about all I got on that part.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a piggyback, and I agree with what 300 had said. Like, she was more focused on herself rather than the child and his embarrassment because it's like this whole time everybody knew except for me, you know. And then on top of that, I've been fathering this child for so long, and now all of a sudden, after we done got married and we got our own baby, here you are wanting to bring this dude back into the situation and stuff.
You know what, B? And what I was shocked is that Sean never asked her, "Did you take my child around all of this?" Because that would have been one of my first questions. Like, wait a minute, what about our baby? Did you take our baby around him while you doing your little secret meetups?
Exactly. And for the mama to be like, oh, well, is he mad at me? Because, I was just, you know, I didn't know. And I was like, of course he would be mad at you. Like, if anything, you should go to him and tell him, look, hey, ain't got nothing to do with it. That's her and her business. But I
Mm.
feel where you're coming from. But I didn't agree with it or something. You know what I'm
But
saying? You can't avoid the man. That's the son-in-law.
Let me ask you a question because I wonder if you guys caught this. Did y'all catch when Sarah said, "Now because I've been sneaking and seeing Anthony, Sean thinks that things have gone further than that." Like saying that maybe they slept together, and the mom was like, "Oh no, he's taking this too far now." He has every right to think that.
Yeah, because if you sneaking on little stuff, like that's something we could have easily talked about because we're married. And I already know, of course, I'm not her biological father. So you can easily come into me and say, hey, he got out of whoop de whoop and I want them to, get to know each other or whatever, however you feel. You should be able to talk about that if you married. And she took it upon herself to keep that as a secret. Just I don't like that at all from her. But that's all I
Okay.
got.
Okay.
I agree with y'all. The only thing I say, like I agree would be on that one part about the embarrassment of it. Like once he is the last one to find out, so at least you don't be sorry for nothing else. Be at least sorry for embarrassing the man.
All right. All right. Okay. All right. So the next couple we saw is Eris and Cameron. Okay. And so this just came out of left field, I feel like, for me. Because the scene opens up, they're getting an ultrasound done. So I was like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute. Um, where is going on? Where did this come from? I feel like it came out of the blue. Even though I kind of suspected it right after their wedding, but there was no mention or anything. All right, so we find out Eris is 16 weeks pregnant, right? And so at the ultrasound, they find out it's a girl. They're going to name her Charlie. And they end up having a heated discussion about her dad. Um, because she kind of wants to go ahead and tell him about the baby since she hid the whole marriage thing. And, Cameron's feeling another type of way. And then she says something. And I think he kind of took offense to what she said. And it wasn't, she didn't, I think that was the thing. He took what she said the wrong way. He took it almost as if she was trying to tell him, you've got to prove yourself to my dad and la la la. Granted, any man got to prove himself to your dad, but I don't know. I just felt like there was a little miscommunication there. All right, so they go home. They finish talking while they're at home, and they decide that they're going to tell Lena about the baby. So they've gotten a little gift for her and stuff. So when she comes home, they sit her down and they talk to her about the baby. And that was pretty much all the Eris and Cameron on this episode. Any thoughts on them?
Um, the conversation between when the ultrasound, I was like, I felt bad because it was a happy moment, but
Mhm.
I guess it's for real. They together. Shucks.
All
But
right, were you crushing on Eris?
yes. but but seriously, I think the way her delivery in the beginning did make it kind of sound like Cameron was thinking. Now, what I don't agree with, and Cameron does it all the time, is he's always overly aggressive with talking, and when she tries
Yeah.
and she's talking, it's like, oh, no, I'm like, it. When you're sitting there in a room with other people, and she's pregnant and she's still hooked up and everything. I mean, she wasn't hooked up, but still, I mean, you're feeling like you making your point is more important than she is having this child here, and you're being frustrating. Even though it may bother you, take a minute to hear her out. Even though her description, like I said, her description was kind of make it sound like that they need because she did say they need to, and he's like, no, it ain't they. This is what you did because he did try, he wanted to, but Eris was the one that was like, no, my dad's gonna feel some type of way. So, like I said, I see what she was saying, but I agree, Cameron. It had nothing to do with that part, but he's got to learn to effectively communicate that that snapping, cutting, snapping, and all that, that's gonna cause trauma already. What happens when the daughter starts talking and he doesn't like something, or when the baby comes along, and babies have a hard when they get older, toddlers have a hard time expressing themselves. What you gonna do with the little kid? Like, say it. What you want? Food, drink. Say it. I mean, what you gonna do? you know. But so that's basically my thing with them, is that she needs to be more clear and concise, and he needs to turn it down by 30 and realize it's not just your idea, feelings, and emotions where you're a couple or you're in a marriage.
Yeah. I didn't like her delivery either, the whole right or wrong. Because I probably would have, I mean, not as hard as he did, but I would have been like, what you mean right or wrong? There was some
Yeah,
I ain't do nothing wrong. You did something wrong. That's your family. That ain't got nothing
yeah,
to do with me. you know? So it's like, in a sense, it's like she was trying to say, let's do things the way we should have did it the first time, or
mm,
the way I should have did it the first time. But the way she said it didn't make it sound like that
yeah,
at all. And then on top of that, it's like, to be grown, like he said, I left over here. I got the job. I got out of jail. I got the
yeah,
job. I got the house. I got the car. And I'm a grown man, and you want me to I mean, it is basically putting on a show for your daddy, to make your
hmm,
daddy feel comfortable enough to accept me when we already married now.
yeah,
Now we finna have a baby, so it don't matter if he approve of the baby or not. The baby's still gonna happen. We still gonna be married. We still gonna be together. So I'm not understanding that whole just. I mean, I never had to go through that with pleasing parents and all that stuff. So I probably would have reacted the same way. Like, look, I'm not no show monkey. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
It come a
And
point
she
in
knew
time where
who
it's
she
like we grown.
married before she married him, and now you want the show to be
Now
real.
you want your daddy to just feel comfortable. Like, no, if you backwards. At this point, your daddy either take y'all as a couple or he don't.
Hmm.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I agree with B on this one because he was a bit much, but the way she started it out was kind of like I probably been defensive too. Like, what do you mean
yeah,
I gotta fix it with your dad? Like, that's not my dad. Like, what I'm saying? His dad is dead, and her his family was there. Granted, they were in his city, but his family was inviting to her and all that stuff. So it's like he did everything right, at least on the end that he could control. She's the one that didn't tell her dad. So,
hmm,
but when she re-explained it, it made more sense. But had she said it like that in the beginning, it probably would have not even went to that. And then I
yeah,
think he do have like a little bit of a defense mechanism, but to me, I see that he tries though. Like after he does snap off, he does come back and he tries, and I don't think he's being fake. And then I've never seen him get crazy with the daughter. Like it seemed like he's very like gentle with the
yeah.
daughter.
He controls himself around her. It seems.
Yeah. So I think when it comes to the kids, he'll be all right. But it's just her and her delivery too. Like they got to realize how they trigger each other and get better as they grow as a couple, I guess. But
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Mm, all right. So the next couple was Amber and Puppy. All right. So we see Amber is telling her mom about her conversation with her friend Ruben in regards to investing in the bar restaurant situation, whatever they got going on. And so then we see Amber and TC, they like go looking for plants or Christmas trees. They're looking for something. They're at an outside nursery, it looks like. All right. And so Amber tries to talk to TC about the baby, but he doesn't really want to discuss it. He just, kind of cuts that conversation or the start of that conversation short. And you can tell she's getting frustrated because it's like she wants to have the conversation with him, that he's just not really interested in having that. All right, and then we see that Puppy and Amber, they meet up at the gym, so they go there to work out. So I'm sorry, Amber starts. Yeah, no, I did have the name right. Puppy starts questioning Amber about her relationship with TC, and Amber, for the relationship to be so good as Amber describes it, she gets so defensive with Puppy. And it's like, everything is perfect with Eric. He just don't know how to handle this the termination of the pregnancy. She just starts going off, and she completely snaps out, I feel like, on Puppy. All right. And so Puppy, she basically calls Amber out. She's like, Amber, you've been drinking a lot lately. Amber actually ends up getting mad at Puppy and storms out of the gym and like goes out to her car and she's crying. Puppy ends up coming out. Wait a minute, I might be mixing the two episodes together now. Let me slow my roll. Okay, so that was basically Puppy and Amber right there. Any thoughts on them?
Them two, I really. One thing I've noticed, I was like, why they still keep Puppy and Amber as a couple when Puppy got somebody and Amber got somebody? It's weird. But
Yeah,
anywho, um, to me, it's like, okay, you want to talk about the baby and all this stuff. Girl, we is at the stove. This is not the place or the time to start getting in our feelings
mm,
about a baby that we had to get rid of. Like, that's number one. So it's
right,
like, of course, I'm not finna talk to you about that right here. Like, baby, we in the stove, we shopping. Like,
right.
wait till we get home or something. Um, but wasn't it her idea? Like mainly her idea to get rid of the baby. Like he really
Yeah,
didn't even have too much of a say so. So it's like, how do you expect me to feel? And you still worried about yourself over how I'm feeling. So of course I'm a revert inward because it's like
yeah,
you really didn't give me a choice. And then on top of that, how you expect me to be there for you for something that I really didn't want to do in the first place? Now you like, how you feel? How you feel? How you think I feel? You got rid of one of my babies. Like that could have been my baby right here. And now it's all about her. Now with her and Puppy at the gym, it's kind of like she not used to that role reversal because Puppy the one who usually have all the
yeah. She's
issues.
used to ragging on Puppy. Now Puppy's
Hmm.
coming at her. Yeah,
Yep. So she like this just one thing. Okay. And this is our one time. We don't do this all the time like y'all. Y'all the ones that always. And it's like, oh
yeah,
my gosh. But I mean, feel it. But at the same time, she was concerned. Like you is drinking a lot, you is doing a lot, and you know that you made some wrong decisions and stuff, and you
right.
expected for everybody to just come and hold you after you done did all this stuff to them. It doesn't make sense to me. But hmm, they got a lot of mental issues going on and stuff. I'm trying not to mix the two episodes together too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about all I got for them.
All right, Reese, what you got for them?
Oh Lord, I can't get my thing together. I'm so used to using my mouse when I switch, but I'm back just doing it the regular way. But so yeah, I agree. Like you're doing it at inappropriate times, and then I
Yeah,
think because she doesn't take the time to realize, like, even though a piece of him kind of, you could tell when she first found out she was pregnant, he wasn't happy about it. But I feel like, whatever, he just gonna do it. It's still his kid. He's like, okay, we got to do this, whatever. But I feel like she doesn't take into account that maybe he don't talk about it because it hurts him too, and maybe
yeah,
he don't know how to deal with it. And she's like, and I understand. Don't get me wrong. I completely understand. Like, she's going through this, and it's like, dude, I'm trying to talk to you because it's how I feel, but he just keeps shutting down. But my thing is that he's been doing that. So I feel like your best bet right now, if you're going through these crazy, not crazy, but these high emotions, is probably talk to your friends. Because obviously he's shown you that he's not the one for you to come to. And it's gonna cause
Yeah,
issues with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Go to him with the stuff that you can talk to him about for now. And then maybe later down the road, y'all can really have a sit down. But it sounds like, if he shuts down anyways, why keep wasting your time doing that? That's the part
right.
I don't understand. And then yeah, and she was making it, and then I think she is in denial about her like her drinking stuff. I'm like, dude, she has been drinking a lot more, and I don't think she realizes it. But I mean, and she
Yeah.
getting mad at Puppy for saying it, but I mean, that's your
Yeah,
friend.
she was mad at Puppy for saying that. She was just mad for Puppy bringing up the relationship. But it was crazy because she just immediately got defensive on Puppy. She
Yeah.
was not even remotely trying to hear her out. And then she was just like, well, she hasn't been the same friend to me that I've been to her. But Puppy could probably say the same thing about you. But Puppy listened when all the stuff you were talking about, Eric, Puppy did listen to you. You know. And so, okay. So we're going to go on to Blaine and Lindsay. Right. And so the episode opens up. Lindsay is going to pick up her daughter. She's saying the daughter's having, some teenager issues. And so she reveals to us that she has gotten a job where she works at night at a rehab clinic. She says she really enjoys working there. And so, right in this episode, they're planning on moving into a temporary place. They said, of course, as Reese has let us know, the trailer is not ready yet, and they have to move out of the house that they're in, the rental that they're in, because the lease is up. So they're moving into a temporary place. And so, her and her daughter arrive at the temporary place. The daughter is not, what is the right word I want to use? She's not, she doesn't like the new place. I'll just say it like that. She doesn't like it. She says her Wi-Fi doesn't work out there. And, when she walks into the house, she says, I think she said the house had a smell to it, smell like death or something she said. And so Lindsay walks into the bedroom and Blaine is in the bed sleeping, which you can tell that annoys Lindsay. And Lindsay is saying basically reveals that she's been carrying them financially because Blaine work has been slow for Blaine, so she's been having to pay for everything. And she also ends up getting emotional in this episode, talking about having to carry them and how much of a financial load she's taking. Now, Blaine did schedule for them to go do some paintball, to go play paintball. Um, the daughter, she opted to not play with them. And she just kind of played on her phone. But it looked like Blaine and Lindsay had a good time for at least a little bit. Once it all ended and they went and dropped the daughter off, of course, things kind of changed. But I'm going to stop there because I'm running into the next episode again. All right, guys. So, thoughts on Blaine and Lindsay?
Blaine and Lindsay.
Blaine guy. Hey, so Blaine and Lindsay. You got any thoughts on them, Jerome?
Blaine and Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's too nonchalant. I think, and that daughter. Oh my gosh, that daughter. Blaine and Lindsay ain't my biggest issue. It's that daughter, and how she's just able to have these little mood swings without zero repercussions.
Yeah.
That's what gets me. I get Lindsay is frustrated with everything, but that daughter is the one that took it over the top. And the fact that,
Wait, was
you
that
call
this
what was it?
episode?
Huh?
That was this episode with the daughter doing all that?
Yeah. On
Oh,
this episode, remember,
that's
she didn't
right.
want to participate with the paintball. She was criticizing the temporary house.
Okay, I'm mixing the
Mhm.
two. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, then she critiqued it, like you agreed. She's criticizing everything, like, I get kids say the darndest things. My child does that. We just went out to eat, and she talking about a man behind somebody. he, and I'm like, child, you know. So, and then you talking to the mom, your mom about, has she been acting like this? Is anything going on with her? Mama, go take your child, talk to her, find out what's really going on. You know, I get you're frustrated with everything. And if Blaine ain't doing this part, then y'all, this is time when y'all need to sit down and effectively communicate. If he's not cleaning up, like when she came, I think when they came in, it's like, what have you done? Oh, I was resting. Yeah, you can get on him. He was wrong. He's definitely wrong for that. But you communicate. Start making a list. Say, let me see. Hey, Blaine, I need you to get this and this done while I'm doing this, or doing something instead of just kind of being nonchalant and just blow up. That's me. I mean, that's what I got.
That is true. My bad, y'all. Somebody was talking to me in the background.
No, you fine.
Trying to order me some snacks. But
No, you and that baby want your snacks.
yes, I was just sitting here like, oh my gosh, nutty bar. Anywho, Blaine, to me, I mean, I feel her, you know, after a while, stuff do start to build up and stuff or whatever. But you still have to take into account that this dude is on house arrest. He has nothing but time in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, like 300 said, I mean, give him something to do, or, you know, let him know this, and this, or whatever. And then maybe he can work on that. But at the same time, being in a house and being a man, that can get very boring. You know what I'm saying? If he's just sitting around folding clothes and stuff, yeah, he probably gonna pass out, go to sleep. It ain't really too much, nothing to do or whatever. And then y'all just moved there, so it's plenty of time for the get the stuff out and unpack and all that stuff. As far as that daughter, I ain't gonna lie, that's part of the reason why I said I would not know what to do with a girl other than punch her in the throat. And I'd rather have boys because ain't no way. Ain't no way. It's the smell, and oh my gosh, there's no signal, and I ain't got time for it. No, a boy, then he'll be outside helping his daddy or something. But okay, I'm paying all the bills. Oh wait, I'm probably mixing up the two
No,
too.
well, it was on both episodes, so yeah.
Okay, but if that be the case, he say, "Well, let's go paintballing. Let's use paintballing to go pay this bill." I mean, it's simple stuff that you can say
Yeah.
for the get what you want. You the woman, you to pay for the house and all this other stuff. Look, what we look like going to play paintball when our light bill is due. You know, stuff like that. Like communication is key. And if you're not happy in that situation or what's going on, she just said, "Yay, let's go play." And
Yeah.
the daughter, again, put on the gear, get everything done. I was like, was hers paid for? Because this so we can use that refund for to put a little on the bill. Because paintball ain't cheap for to be just going and then sit out. Like, no. And then they out there just causing a scene. Really didn't even really play paintball. Y'all was just rolling on the ground. But yeah, we don't spend that much time together. Understood, because I mean, who really wants to have fun and go out with somebody when you know in the back of your mind, that light bill and that water bill though. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I can't have fun if my bill's not paid. So, but that's about all I got on them.
See, I got the vibe that she really didn't get like psycho until it wasn't even really that he took her on a date and they spent that money. It was just that I think her daughter triggered her because of how the daughter was acting, and then of course it brought back how she felt about Blaine before they went on a date. Then it's like she complained and you don't do nothing. Who gonna help me? I do everything. I work long hours, blah blah. But I think. where Blaine messed up though is he should have probably told them where they was going, because the simple fact that paintballing actually does hurt. So it could have been that girl was just scared to get hit by a paintball, and I'm like, yeah, like she could have probably been a little bit better than how she was, but I can't fault the little girl for being scared to get hit by a paintball, because I got hit by, I went paintball. Now it's fun, but it does hurt. Like, so if you're
Yeah.
not
Now
prepared,
I can understand that completely,
yeah.
Reese. But her attitude with other stuff too, it wasn't just the paintball. That little girl had a bad attitude the whole
But you
time
got
she
to
was.
think of like kids these days, like their phone is their life. So she pulls up and ain't no phone, ain't no internet. I'm not saying that it's okay, but she probably feel like I could have stayed at my grandma's house. Like, I didn't need to come over here for this. And now, granted, it ain't her choice because she's 13 or whatever it is, but she also a teenager, and yeah. So I'm not saying that how she was acting was okay, but I feel like that's how most teenagers are. And I seen male and female teenagers that are like, they so glued to the phone that you take
I mean,
away the internet.
it's one thing to be glued to the phone, and then there's another thing to have a bad attitude about the whole situation.
I'll say this, and yeah, her. I know how kids are today because it's a lot different than how kids have come up over the years. But I'll say on this side, when a kid acts like that, and it may not be the same for their case as much, but then you start looking like, dang, for the past 13, 14, 15 years, sacrifice, fed, clothed, all this stuff, and in turn, I get this attitude, and it does become triggering.
But that ain't her case,
I
though.
think it's mainly her lack of respect for her mama and what
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
got going on. Because one, you just got out of jail. We still getting to know each other, period. Then you bringing another dude from jail. And now we supposed to be one big happy family. Moving into this stanky house in the middle of nowhere with no signal. So it's like she don't respect her at all. So in a sense, it's like, yeah, I can't really just expect her to just
Yeah.
full off like, yeah, thanks, mom. No, she's not.
Yeah. Because
She
her,
wasn't even raised that way.
yeah. And her grandma, she probably been spoiled. And, like, literally, when she go see her mom ain't been there. So her mom's job right now, you be spoiling and trying to win her over so that not saying that's what she got to do, but you ain't been there. So you can't just expect her to be like, "Oh, yay, my mom," when you ain't been there, and then this the where you put her. It's not like your average parent who has done every single thing, and then this one time you don't like something, you got all this attitude. Now, granted, yes, she is a teenage girl, 13, early teen, so like, who knows? She's moody too, on top of everything else she's dealing with. But I think if he had told them about the paintball, maybe they could have said, well, no, she could have said I'm scared to go paintballing, and maybe they would have did something different, or maybe even left her at the house. I don't know. Or she could have stayed in the car instead of hiding in the shed or wherever she was hiding at. I'm like, where was she at? I don't even know. Like,
That part too. Or if it was such a big deal that y'all didn't spend enough time together, just go on a date. The girl old enough to stay at home by herself. Like y'all could have went and did that on your own and been
mm-hmm,
able to get even closer together. Who
yeah.
knows?
Instead of having to roll around in public and everybody be like, okay, because that was awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cute for them, but when I realized, like, oh, they weren't the only ones out there, because I thought, like, I'm like, they hiding. I'm like, where the other people at? Then when the people showed up, I'm like, oh, y'all doing that in front of strangers? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and everybody just started standing around
Yeah,
like,
that was weird. That was
yeah,
weird.
we don't spend enough time together, so we're just out here.
Yeah, but there's kids out there too. Like, what y'all doing?
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So the next couple that we had was Taylor and Chance. All right. And so, oh my God, I swear Chance could not be my dude. He could not. He could not. And so we see Taylor, she's like sitting on the bed with the baby doing something. And she asks Chance to come here. And he's like, he's trying to eat his effing breakfast. I was like, okay, this is how you will allow him to talk to you. What if I needed help with the baby? What if I, and you are yelling back to me, oh, you're trying to eat your effing breakfast? I'm disturbing your breakfast now. Okay. All right. And so we find out he
His
still
breakfast
hasn't
of
told.
cereal.
That's why I
Yeah,
was
it
looking
wasn't
at
even
too. I was
cooked.
like, wasn't the breakfast cereal or oatmeal or something?
Hmm. It was
Cereal.
something
It's
in the
like Fruit
bowl.
Loops or something.
Hmm.
Gourmet cereal.
Yeah, yeah. And so we also find out he still hasn't told Taylor that he has been laid off from his job. I wonder how long is he gonna keep this a secret? She's gonna know in a minute. She should know in a minute. All right. And so Taylor questions him about his whereabouts, and they argue. He ends up getting upset and walks out the room. And as he's walking out the room, he tells her, "You need to figure out how you're going to pay these bills." For me, that would have been a red flag. Like, oh, wait a minute, you're the one working. Why would you dare tell me I need to figure out how to pay these bills? No, I'm. These bills are gonna get paid the same way they got paid last month. You're gonna pay them with the job you got. And so they continue to argue. She cries and she tells him how the way he's behaving, that she is an insecure person and that the way he's behaving is not really helping the situation, and so basically that was Taylor and Chance from that episode. Thoughts on them?
Yeah. The views and opinions expressed by Chance do not express the views of opinions of men, period. And sorry.
Okay.
Um I didn't like his whole attitude, period, how he's
Not at
talking to
all.
her. And it seems like she's been very, very tolerable, more than most women would be. And even when she tried to talk to him, even throughout the episode, she tries to talk to him about stuff. It's always reverted like, okay, I know I did this, but you did that. I know this, I know I had these messages, but like and before, but you don't trust me. It's like stop making it when you just gonna accept when you do wrong and that's it. Um he said, I think it was in I hope I'm yeah, he even said there, it's like when they were having that conversation, like on the side note saying, I am really becoming a professional liar. you know,
Yeah, he did.
he's lying about what have you. You haven't really found that job, but then when you went to the bar, prior you went to the bar, you could thought you was gonna make money on a machine and was surprised like you spend this much money and you don't win. Well, that's you're not guaranteed to win if you spend and spent and bought drinks. Spent like 70
Wait,
bucks that you can have.
okay, so let me ask you this, because for me, I kind of had a moment because when they went to go visit that financial planner, he claims he's been spending money at the casino and he's been losing. So why were you acting so shocked that you lost at the gas station? I was like, maybe that is not where he's blowing all his money at.
Well, maybe the bar, maybe well, a casino is a place where they have a machine you can gamble at. They
Hmm.
have a machine you can gamble at that bar. So maybe that makes it a slash casino.
Hmm.
So, but no, I agree. I'm being funny, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
It may be. I agree. I think there's other things that are being spent on other people.
B looks happy. Looks like
She
she got
got
her
that food.
snacks.
Oh, she got nutty buddies. Heck yeah.
You better give me some snacks.
Nutty buddies. Pass one of them through the screen.
Hey, I take oatmeal cream pie.
I
Oh
want the
my
nutty buddies.
gosh, it feel like Christmas.
I'm all about them nutty buddies. Like to
But
break each little wafer individually.
You like to eat each
those
layer?
two.
Each layer, yeah. I like break it a piece, eat each layer, break a piece, eat each layer.
That's me. That's me. Yep. But I mean I can't fault him with the way that he acts. Like she is annoying. Nobody wants to be with a nagging, insecure person, and like he already. I don't, I'm too much of a male advocate. I know, but dang, like I just got laid off. Then I gotta come home, listen to you talk about I know where you been. You be stalking me. You want to see my phone. Like, I can't tell you nothing. So it's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm eating my fucking breakfast. Leave me alone, woman. Like, I don't know. But yeah, that it still
It
was a
is
little
funny because
too far.
I could see it from that point. But at the same token, if I was telling, I'm like, wait a minute, this dude was unemployed. I call his name. He talking about I'm eating my effing breakfast, and it was a bowl of corn pops or whatever. I think I would feel some type of way though, even though I know she doesn't know he's not working. But
True.
so
They
I can
pretty
see
much
it
in the
now from
same
both
boat
sides.
now, though, ain't she? She
Yeah,
ain't working either.
she ain't working either. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't be, no, you really can't say nothing to me. Ask me where I'm at. I'm trying to find a job, okay? But maybe not. But that's about all I got for them. I mean, she is like, I've never seen, like, I never understood the type of people that track people.
Yeah,
You know,
check.
like, I know your location. What you was doing over there at such and such house? And oh my gosh, let me see your phone. I never
Yeah,
understood
I'm
that.
not
So
doing all of that.
I don't understand her. I don't understand her, which makes me understand his frustration even more. That's probably what's
Yeah.
happening because I don't get her at all. But I get why he's frustrated. That's it.
So I can agree to an extent, but not fully because he blowing the money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you out there really trying to find jobs and you actually doing right and she doing that, but you're not, that's the problem. That's what I mean, and that's because we know. And then
Yeah,
two,
that's something that I thought about too. She's sensing something is not right, but instead of realizing is he's not working, she thinks it's another woman. I think that's where the issue is. So that's why she's nagging and stuff because she does sense something's off. That's what I think. I'm sorry, Reese. I wasn't trying to cut you
no,
off.
you okay. And then like the deleting the text messages, all that stuff. You know, like there's certain things that's like if you know she's tracking your phone and can see that she can see phone numbers or whatever. I don't know. If she's looking at phone bills, I don't know what she's looking at. But if you're gonna get rid of the evidence, get rid of all the evidence. But if she got a tracker on you, it's like one of them things where either turn your location off or do the right thing. Cause you know you can't say that. Well, I don't know, cause like he hasn't admitted that he's laid off, but you bouncing all over the city, so it doesn't make sense. Like you need to just tell her the truth. Like I got laid off, but I'm trying to find jobs, and like I'm using my power washer, I'm using all the stuff I got, I'm doing odds and end jobs, and then I bounce back and forth. When I can find like some construction jobs, whatever the case may be. But if you're not honest, then it looks sneakier than what it is.
Hmm.
Although he does come off as being sneaky because of some of the stuff he's doing. So, yes, I think I'm not a fan of the way she tracks him and all that stuff and demands to look at his phone every 2 seconds. But if you tracking him and you allowing somebody to track you and you keeping your location on and you bouncing all over the city, it's like, well, what were you doing over here when you supposed to be at work? Then you left and went over here, and then you was over there. Then over, who are you seeing? What are you doing? Like, explain this to me, because money bills aren't getting paid, but yet you go to work every day.
Yeah,
If you're home
that
every
part.
day and the bills ain't getting paid, I know. Or if you're saying I'm doing odd and end jobs and the bills ain't getting paid, I know. But you're saying you're going to work every day. You get up like you're going to work, and yet you never go to work, or the bills ain't getting paid. That's the problem I see. And then you keep going to the bar.
I just want to quick point out quick. I agree with Reese, and I gotta say, I'll agree with both. I'll agree with B when I say that her voice is pretty much like, well, and if you,
It is
that
one.
would kind of get me. But I agree with Reese on the case of just from episode to episode, it's like you have a spending problem. You buy the truck, you're doing all this stuff, and then you didn't even want to help put the baby crib together. Um, your son come in, you're spending more money. Now you're trying to make it seem like, the sign should have been, which should have been real embarrassing for her when you go out to eat. And it's like, all right, take this card, you got change right here, you know, after a while, that does become wearing and telling. And then, like I said, with the phone, but the problem is she keeps forgiving, and she keeps it. At some point, she's going to put a little more bass in that voice when she talks to him. And at some point, he's gotta grow up. He's got to grow up and stop being responsible and not be like keep making mistakes and then like, well, I guess I'll just figure it out. No, you got kids. You just had a child and you got other kids and you got a wife. She's just coming off maternity leave. Now, if she's supposed to drop the baby and keep going, I mean, some people do that. But at some point, if he's not going to work and she's doing better, then you say, hey, honey, I can't. You stop going to the bar. You stay at home. You take care of the kids. You let her go get that job. Till then, you do that because if both of y'all working, who gonna watch the kids? So at this point, you figure out either or. But the way he's handling it, and then how he always tries to make it, I know I'm wrong, but you did this. That's not a mature way to handle it. But I'm done with them.
Not at all. Okay. So the next couple is Monique and Derek. So Derek has arrived in Chicago. Monique picks him up from the airport. Of course, he has the flowers and stuff for her. He seems happy to see her. She seems happy to see him. And so we find out Monique has moved. She said she had to find a cheaper place, but her place is very nice looking. And so she shows him around the home. And at one point, she was in the bedroom by herself. He went downstairs to go fix her something to drink. She starts going through his bags, trying to find his phone so she can look through the phone. This is my thing, okay? I'm not going to judge a woman or even a man, okay? If you want to work out your relationship after infidelity, that's completely up to you. But I feel like if you decide you're going to take your spouse back, you got to leave all of that alone. What's the point of taking them back and then searching through phones and through luggage and everything else? I don't understand that portion of it. All right. And so she ended up accusing him of talking to other women. And she also throws in the trash the flowers that he just brought with him for her. And it's crazy because I was just sitting there, I was like, Monique, stop it. You don't realize this man has come here. He is planning on asking you to marry him. And look at how you're behaving. You're going to make that man change his mind. Make him change his mind. Now, I don't know that I necessarily believe that they're ready to get engaged, but all the same, you don't realize what you're doing. You're sitting here causing all this confusion and stuff. So, thoughts on Monique and Derek?
Oh gosh. Derek and who was that? We just
Monique?
talked about. No, talking about
Oh,
the guy.
Cameron. Was it
Yeah.
Cameron and Harris?
No. The one we just talked about.
Oh, Chance.
Chance. Yeah, Chance and Derek need to go hang out. Um, Derek and Monique started out with going through the phones and locations, so that's been their relationship from the beginning. He admits that he's.
Hey, Egypt. I'm sorry.
He.
Oh, thank you, Egypt. That's really nice of you. So Egypt said she just shared this on Facebook and Instagram. People can just
That
click
is
the link
awesome.
and watch it now or later.
Thank you, Egypt.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I she comes in and no, if like you said, and I agree, if you forgive someone, you forgive them. But she's done a lot of forgiving, and at this point, if it's all this going on, then you kind of probably need to go on about your way. But
yeah.
I can't be totally upset that she's still going on the phone because it's like I'm not seeing the difference. I'm not seeing the change in him. Like I see, like he's going there the homeboys gave him the flowers to give to her, and he's going to propose, but I haven't seen the change in the actions. You just bringing a ring to try to like, okay, well, I messed up, so let me do this. So that's my thing. in order for them to move forward, they got to work past. I give her credit though. When she felt a certain way, she stuck by it. She like, you sleeping on the couch. You ain't just gonna sweet talk yourself out of this one. So I give her credit for that. But other than that, she just got to decide at this point.
Yeah. All right, Reese, you have anything on them?
Yeah, I think she like I agree.
Thank you, sis.
I agree with what you said. Like, you know, you got to forgive and all that stuff. But like JC was saying, like it hasn't been any change. Well, at least none that we see. Because the way he still acts seems like it's still the same. Like, he still got all them thousands of phones and still, Um, now, did she have to be so harsh? I mean, I guess if you look at it like JC said, she got to stand on her ground and like show him that she's not going to continue to tolerate it. Because if she had just gave in that night, maybe he wouldn't have been as nice the next day or whatever, or. So I don't know. I feel like them two need to probably call it quits, but I guess their toxic works. So I don't know. That's how I got.
It was seeing his little self climb on that countertop. Oh my gosh! When I saw him get up there, I was like, "Oh my gosh, he is small. That's a small man." Which I'm gonna stop. But to me, if she really wanted to stand her ground, he wouldn't even be there. I ain't finna go pick you up. Well, I'll talk to you on the phone or whatever. But to bring him, go get him, bring him back to the house, and then say, it was how she was fumbling in the bag too, because her hands so plump. It was like sausage
Oh,
digging.
Lord.
It was funny. I was like, she moving so slow, and he like, come, I'm down, I'm coming up. Okay, hold, I'm coming. Like moving the bag and stuff. Like you was just digging on the bag on the floor. Now you digging on the bag on the bed. Now you back digging on the floor. Like, and then just hard hunt. I can't talk. Lord, my mind. Hounding him for his phone, and then like, what's the point of hounding him for the phone if you already said, I already got the paper and who is this time and that time and all this stuff, and that's a lot. Like, dang, we just got home, and if you call yourself forgiving me, then why are we going down this list of old stuff?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What I'm even here for? And then not knowing the fact that he just teeter-tottered his way up on your countertop was just, dang, girl, you kind of went hard, but I get it. But at the same time, if you know you a big girl and you that insecure, why do you keep putting yourself through that situation in the first place? But that's just me. But that's all I got for them.
Well, one thing I forgot was, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it on the ride from picking him up to the house that his phone kept ringing and messages, and he kept like, "Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's nothing." And wouldn't
Hmm.
answer it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what prompted. Not saying she was right, but I'm saying I think that's what prompted. It wasn't just she just came in and just started looking out of the blue.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
But she still already had the paper with the numbers and how long they been talking on the phone and stuff too. So she like, who you talking to at like 3 o'clock in the morning? You know?
Jake
So
from
it's
State
like
Farm.
you already know. So it's like, what are we here for? But in actuality, she don't know. But I'm gonna say that.
Now that we know Jake from State Farm is really Michael B. Jordan, like, nah.
All right. Well, now we're about to flip into episode 48. So we're at 54. I'm sorry, I was trying to get the timestamp. All righty. So now we're going to jump into episode 48. I'm sorry, I did not write down what was the name of this episode. The last one was what, Roses and Thorns, I think. Yeah, Roses and Thorns. This one, I don't remember the name of this one. Does
I think it
anybody
was love
remember
is
the
not.
name?
I think it was love is not enough. Let me see.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
That could have
something
been
like
it.
that.
All right, so this episode it starts out with Monique and Derek. So we find out they actually slept apart. Derek is up and he's making Monique breakfast. He's making all of her favorites. He says she likes waffles. She likes bacon. I don't know. He may not have said bacon, but he was saying all of these things that she likes. So he even had the whipped cream out, for her pancakes or her waffles, whatever it was. We see Monique calls her sister and tells her about their fight. Now, the thing is, she has talked or told them so much about Derek that now they're kind of on the Derek K train, so she was not being positive or anything about it. And so Derek calls her downstairs. She comes, I'm assuming downstairs. Yeah, because it seems like the house has stairs or something. So he calls her into the kitchen and he has candles lit. So he really is trying. He's really trying with her, right? All right. And so and they talk and go through his phone basically. Still the same thing basically from the previous night. And so he actually called like one person. I couldn't tell was that Facebook or either from his text messages, but she was kind of questioning one particular person. I don't know if the name sounded like a female name or something. So he called her to show
Yeah,
that
it
it
said
was a guy.
Steph.
Okay, that's what it was. And so he called and she had to kind of eat crow a little bit because it was a guy. It was what he was saying it was. So then Derek wants to get frisky, right? And so we see him, turning up the heat on Monique. He's like pouring chocolate in her mouth and all of that stuff. And so they actually, later on that evening, they get dressed and we see them. They go to a club and they go hang out there. And Monique is acting very jealous at the club. So they have a waitress or a bottle girl or whatever who was there like pouring them up some drinks. And Monique's like, "Oh, we're good with our drinks. You can go now." I'm like, "Ah, and what, did you have to do that? You're just gonna dismiss her? You could at least gave her a tip and dismissed her." Um, and so we also see like a random girl wants to take pictures with him, but you can see Monique is annoyed
No,
because
that's that bottle girl again.
okay, so the bottle girl, Monique is still, she was on another one at the club. I'm like, why would you go to the club if you're feeling this insecure, girl? That's the wrong place for y'all to go together. So that was Derek and Monique in this episode. Any thoughts on them?
You know, I had a question. Why did they make it seem like something happened in that bathroom?
They did do that. They did.
I think that's real messy.
It is. That's very messy.
Cause they made that girl look like she took a sip of a drink and then ran that way, and then
Yeah, it was in the
he was like,
bathroom doing
"Ooh,
something with a
yeah."
guy. She
I feel
took a
like
sip.
they shouldn't have done that, cause that made that girl look real bad.
Hmm.
Especially because she kept coming in, which to me looked like a setup. I guess I can go since I'm talking. It looked like a setup, like with her popping in the picture, because like she pouring the drinks. Now that part, I feel like that's just normal bottle service. But then when she started like they taking a picture and she jumps in it, and then it's like, oh, let me take the picture, and then you can see she scoots it over and only gets Derek, and then zooms into Derek. I don't know if y'all noticed that either.
I
I was
did
like,
not
oh.
notice that.
Yeah,
I
when she was
noticed
taking
that.
the
I was like,
picture,
rewind
she
it back,
cut
rewind
she
it back.
cut it so it was
She
only
ran out.
Derek. But that's why I was like, if that's what really happened or whatever, I feel like Money would have said something before that point. But I don't know. But she did do that. So I was like, that bottle girl was being real messy. Like, or at least they were making her out to be real messy. And then I did think it was cute of how like Derek did all the stuff. Like that was sweet. The little heart on the table with the candles on, so it was sweet. But I felt like it was a bit much. Like when he put the whipped cream in the mouth, that was cute. But then he just kept going with stuff, and then I was like, now this
Yeah,
is starting to, because people gonna talk because of. It's like there's just some things you can and can't do, and I feel like because of her size, like you start making her look crazy by throwing all this stuff in her mouth, like all the chocolate all on her face, like what I'm saying. Just because I know how
yeah,
people get, where something that maybe they find fun they're gonna turn it around on her and say something negative. So that's the only reason I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe you shouldn't have did that on TV. But I thought that scene was funny. It was cute. And then everything up until like, like she was acting real insecure at the club. Like that was a bit much. And then when it came to at the end of the night or the next day or whatever, when the family came and stuff, um, they were all like, "Oh, fist bumps. What's this about?" Fist bumps. And I'm like, I mean, y'all did kind of end on a bad note, kind of.
Yes. Oh, and then I forgot to mention that the sister said that Derek's sister has been DMing them,
Yeah.
still talking about wanting to fight. I'm like, I wish your sisters would grow up.
And was saying they were gonna come down that trip or something too. I'm like, yeah, that's weird.
It was so
But
weird, childish.
so of course you know how we do, leave us hanging on who's at the door. I hate when they had on little stupid cliffhangers,
Yeah.
but
I
whatever. They
wonder if
better
it's
it
gonna
better
be.
be some worth it since we gotta wait a week to
I'm,
find out
I'm
what.
almost wondering. Let's all take a guess. Who do you think was at the door? I think it may be Monique's parents.
Yeah, her parents. Cause she said he's gonna be my family. He's already met the sister, so I think it's the parents. But they trying to put it out like maybe it's the sisters. The sisters don't know where she lives, so and even if they did, I doubt they're gonna come all the way to Chicago. I'll be surprised.
I
So
was thinking the sisters, either the
really,
bottle girl, the sisters,
I think it's
because
her
like
parents.
right before that, Derek was like, "Oh, they not coming out here," and I told them such and such and such and such, and it's like, boy, you never talked to your sisters like that in the first place. That's how
No.
they ended up having to fight. So I don't think so. I think it's the sisters coming.
Hmm.
I'm with Reese. I think it's the parents or somebody else. Not just like the bathroom scene. I think it's just building anticipation when you get there. It's like, oh, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they never did go back to the club at all. Like,
That's why I
did
don't
he
think that
leave
scene was
out and
real.
try to tuck his shirt in, or what happened? They
I don't
never.
think it was real. I think he really went to pee, and then the O might have been something else they edited. That
Yeah,
whole that whole scene, because like really, you in a club, you can't hear through a door that easily. I
No.
think that all the voices and stuff you heard was all edited. I think, me personally, I think. Now, if he come back out and say that the body girl came in there and did something, that's different. But
yeah.
no,
Look
A
at
cocaine bear.
hello, cocaine bear.
that's a good movie, but we ain't
No,
gonna
I
talk
never did
about that.
see it yet.
I never
Oh,
saw it.
it's a good
Mm-mm.
movie,
I think it's
real
still at the
good.
movies now.
But my opinion about them two, when he called the number and it was a dude, I was like, told you, knew it. But but what happened after that with the food? I was like, okay, ain't no eggs. Where the eggs at? Where the eggs and the bacon? The pancakes gonna be cold, and you're just gonna eat pancakes and whipped cream with no syrup, like just
I
dry.
was thinking that
I
too. I'm like, no syrup, but
I
I guess
don't
some people
think
do
it
that.
at all. But the whole scene with the chocolate and the whipped cream, I was cringing the whole time. I ain't gonna lie. So I was just like, I wanted to fast forward so bad.
But you know what? I was cringing because I felt like Reese. I was like, oh my God, some of these Facebook savage groups, they're going to have a field day with these
I
scenes.
guess.
That was my thoughts too. I was like, "Ooh." Because she's a big girl and you squirting food in her mouth, they're going to
Yeah,
love this. Can you
yeah.
imagine the memes they're about to make right now?
Hmm.
For real. Okay, that was that. And then the whole club scene is like, yeah, we're going. Yeah, she in the car with us. Sisters. Yeah, we finna go to the club. What so he can fight with other bitches?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like one of the moments. Speakerphone, speakerphone,
Okay.
speakerphone. Take it
But
off
that's the
speaker.
thing. She has told them so much and allowed them to see so much of her relationship. Now they just say whatever, and I'm just like,
It's almost like
Yeah,
even if he tried
I
to
don't
do
know.
right, he can't do right.
yeah, they're not gonna see him doing right.
Yeah, Don't put family in your
Right.
relationship.
Okay, so that guy that came in with the sisters, was that one of the sisters' boyfriends? And if
That's what I
so,
was wondering too.
I was like, oh, these women, they like small men. Because the one sister he was standing beside, he was smaller than her, like in
Yeah,
height wise. Let me at least say that.
and body.
Yeah.
But yeah. But the fact that y'all go to the club, I was kind of like Derek, like, what are the people at? You mean to say we at the club at like 7, 8 o'clock and ain't nobody here? We got the whole place to ourselves, and yeah, it's just us. And so I really ain't got to worry about nobody. Ain't no girls here, and da da da. And then ding dong, here come the bottle girl. When she linked up in that picture, I was like, oh, she bold. She was bold,
Yeah.
bold with it. Like, oh
And leaning
yeah,
on his side.
yeah. And then linked on him, and it was the fact. I don't know if anybody else caught that either. When the girl was like, "Let's take a picture," he was like, "Yeah, take a picture of us, not of us, but take a
Mm.
picture of me with the bottle girl."
Oh,
And she was like, "No, she can take a picture of us."
oh, I didn't
And
catch that.
then yeah, he was like, "Yeah, take a picture of us. Take a picture of us." No. And like Reese said, I caught that. I even rewinded back
She
to
was like,
check myself to see if I saw what I saw. I was like, did she just zoom in on him? And it was just, I
she
was
leaned it
literally
too, like
waiting.
where it took Monique out.
Yes.
Mm.
I was waiting for Monique to look at her phone and be like, bitch, you just took a picture of my man. Like, I thought that
Mm-hmm.
she was catch it, but she never did. She never opened back up her phone. But the whole bathroom scene, like, we said, we'll never know what happens unless they go back to it or whatever. Because our show was like, they're going to have to run that back because I want to know what happened. Then, boom, they at home. It's like,
That's why I
oh,
don't think nothing happened.
yeah. And then with the whole sister situation and all that stuff, I'm like, they got too much family involvement into their relationship. It's like, yeah, y'all know that we together and all that stuff, but to put and vent so much negativity on your relationship, you can't expect your family for the deal with that all the time and expect for them to like them
Mm-hmm.
at
Right.
all. So even if he was to propose, it's like I don't see it. Oh, and then on top of that too, I was like, how is he climbing up on countertops to propose to this lady, but at the same time begging her for a threesome?
Yes, I'm sorry. I
Forgot
completely
about
did
that
not
too,
mention that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So they
Yeah.
had a whole conversation because he was like, he's ready for her. Apparently, when he was in prison, she promised him a threesome. So now he's ready for her to make his dream come true. And she don't want to do it. She said it's off the limits because off the table because he cheated.
Yeah, he's had enough.
Mhm.
He's already got
Yeah.
enough of whatever he
So
did.
she's like, no, you can't have it now. And then she even went in and said, what if I wanted to have a threesome and have an extra man in there? And he's like, no, 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 that ain't right. No, that's not happening. No.
That part.
Mhm.
I have completely
I was
forgotten
like,
about that.
he's still not ready. He is not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
He can climb his butt back up there and get the ring
Yeah,
back.
get the ring back and come on down. Hmm.
And all this was after the fact that that bottle girl did what she did.
Yeah,
And now you're like, hmm, what about that threesome though?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
probably
What happened
because he want to
to
go
that?
find that bottle girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be mad. Or at least she should
But
be
that
mad if she agrees and the bottle girl comes, is the one that shows up.
I'd be like, I gotta
yeah.
find the person then. He
I
ain't gonna be
knew.
happy. It ain't gonna be nobody you bring in.
Ooh, what if it's two big girls? I'm done.
Hey,
Um,
you get what you
I'm not
get. She ain't say he get to choose.
point. All right. Well, he it was good. He took the roses from the trash to make good use of them.
Yeah.
You know, she came back. She came downstairs. Come on downstairs. And all that credit I just gave her for standing tall just went all out the window. So now at this point, you're back to where you can't get mad because he knows all they got to do is no matter what he does is sweet talk you a little bit, feed you a little chocolate syrup, and you'll be good to go at the end of the day. Um, the petty side of me is a little is when I look at the show, I'm like, can we at least get them an SUV? Because we've gone from her car to from her vehicle to even a smaller car now going to the club. I'm like, can we get them an SUV? Really? I mean, because it's like we say with the memes and stuff, it's not making her look good or comfortable.
Yeah. I was like, this is going to be another meme. Them riding in the car. It's like when I watch their scenes, I can almost see all the memes.
Yes, just shake my head. Um, as far as going through the phone, I get what she says. They went through it. Now she's okay. But like she said, you know, you got to hold overnight to kind of clean it up to not make it look as bad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody knows he's not exactly on the up and up at this point. But
Right.
we're like now, like if you get, it's not a matter of we think he's better. We just realize no matter what he does, all they got to do is give you a little smack on the booty, and you're gonna be right. Be like, okay, honey. So it's like, why even worry about it? Just accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as the club going to Bottle Girl, yeah, that was a bit much. I'm surprised that didn't turn out even worse. You know, because I think the average, I could probably, if I'm wrong, speak for y'all. But if stuff like that was happening, y'all would have reacted probably a little more extra than Monique did.
And your
I
assumption
think
is
it was
correct
fake.
on my part.
That's my take.
Yeah,
I think that was staged.
yeah. And the bathroom, I think, was just like I said, just for suspense, just to make things something. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if in the future she looks through his phone and finds the bottle girl and find out later that that was just a hint to what something may have happened. But you know that
You think
could
this is
be the
them
case.
introducing the bottle girl into the
Yes,
storyline?
and the bottle girl will be my new crush. Anyhow,
Oh,
but as far as the sisters go, at this point, it goes beyond what Monique has been telling them why they have the hatred for Derek. They've seen their sister with the ups, they've seen her with the downs, they've
they
dealt with the
fought with their
social
sister.
media,
Yeah.
yeah, and fought with the sisters, fought with the other sisters, and how Derek's handled all of that, and watched Derek's sisters disrespect their sister. And it's like you're supposed to be her man who wants to be her husband, but yet you allow your sister to consistently disrespect our sister. Yeah, Monique has said a lot, but a lot of the ideas that Monique's sisters have formulated has come directly from Derek's lack of protecting their sister, and basically that's it. Because even if these sisters would have acted out, but Derek would have stepped up way before when they were doing the talking, like, hey, stop doing that. Hey, no, we ain't doing that. Even when they met up, he was telling them, hey, y'all need to chill, to Monique's sisters than his own sisters who were really being the hype folks the whole time. So for those reasons, yeah, I'm not gonna like him either. And the fact that they're now bold enough, like they sit in the car, oh, he about to do some blah blah again, you know, right in the car to the club. She was bold. He's like, I'm right here, and she's like, I don't care if you're right there. I'm still gonna say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's
He's
all I got
loving
on.
being there too much. All right. So next was Sean and Sarah. All right. So this episode picks up with Sean and Sarah. They're having a talk about what Sarah has been doing behind Sean's back. So Sean mentions, how much he's hurt and feels betrayed. He also mentions that apparently he and Sarah had talked about Sean adopting Sarah's daughter so that the children have the same last name as each other and stuff. Um, I don't know. With Sean's track record, I don't know that I would. trying to allow him to adopt my child. But anyway, so Sarah says that her baby daddy wants to see their little girl today. And for her, what she suggests is she wants the guys to meet. And then after they meet, then she's going to tell her daughter that the guy that her daughter thinks is just a friend is truly her dad. Um, so reluctantly, Sean agrees to it. All right. And so they drive to go meet up with the baby daddy at a park. And it was funny because they pull up and, Sean gets out the car. Baby daddy, he instantly, you could tell he's he is not pleased with Sean. So he's like, yeah, Sean looks old as ever. He doesn't even look like her type. I couldn't. All right. And so Sean walks up to him. The baby daddy tries to shake Sean's hand, but Sean won't shake his hand. Sean gets what he has to say off of his chest, and then he goes to shake the baby daddy's hand. The baby daddy actually shakes his hand back, and then Sean walks off and goes to the car. And the baby daddy, he starts in it. Sarah's like, yeah, that was just real disrespectful what he did. He should have fought him and la la la. And then Sean comes back from the car and he does apologize for not shaking the baby daddy's hand the first time. Um, but of course, you can tell the baby daddy really isn't accepting it, and he just basically let Sean know that that was disrespectful when you walked to the car. I had made the decision. I did not like you. All right. And so the baby daddy actually tells Sean, was like, if I wanted Sarah, there's nothing or nobody that would stop me from getting her. Which I get it. He was caught up in a moment, but I felt like that was a little inappropriate to be saying to her husband. Um, yeah, so basically that was their scene. Any thoughts on Sean and Sarah this week?
Man,
Oh, okay, go
when
ahead,
he
Jerome.
said that, I was like, the fact that I got it, he said it to Sarah, but you don't say that to that man. Like, that's so
Mm.
disrespectful. Like, I was
Oh, most
like, oh my gosh. Like, when he did that, I'm like, that was rude. I don't care how mad you was about that man not shaking your hand. That's still her husband. That was rude. That was
yeah,
inappropriate. Because
that was
that,
out of line. Yeah,
yeah, you tell him how you feel about, hey, as a man, and you came to me in jail. I've been to jail plenty of times, and with my mentality, how I was prior to jail, before jail, after jail, that's rude, and I don't do that. Like, I don't care how you felt about me. Not shaking my hand initially was disrespect, and I don't like you for that. I feel like all of that's perfectly fine, but to say that whole thing about wanting Sarah, because I get it, he trying to tell her, like, tell him I don't want you, girl, but you can still say, like, I don't want her. Like, I don't even want your girl. I'm just saying you're gonna respect me as a man. You know what I'm saying? As a person, period. And shake my hand when I reached out, because I could easily not shake your hand either. I could have said hey and moved on. But I reached out to shake your hand as a man.
right.
So I feel like that whole scene with Sean, like, that was real immature of him. Um, I think it was cool that he came back and apologized for that, but I'm kind of with old boy. Are you doing it to please, just to save face, or do you really mean that? Now, if Sean means it,
Yeah,
then okay, because Sean was insecure about it. I think he saw the dude and was like, okay, this dude younger than me. He got his stuff together. He don't look like what I thought I was gonna see. So I get it. Like, Sean was expecting to see like
like a
some
tweaker.
cracked out,
Yeah,
crackhead looking dude that like probably looks super raggedy, and the dude looks put together. So you know, and Shine coming over there. I mean, yeah, he looks older. He is older than them. Like, he's 10 years older than her, so I'm sure he's older than that dude. And then to me, he looks even older than his age a little bit. To me, a little bit. But it's just like I don't know. Like, I felt like he came out, and I understand his frustration. But again, when I go back to how you don't go that hard for your own kids, like how you over here,
right,
like, you know, I wanted to adopt her and give her my last name and this and that. You ain't even cared about your own kids, pretty much, other than
right.
the one you played the game with. and that's only because y'all play the game. If y'all didn't play the
Yeah,
game,
that's why
you wouldn't
I
worry
don't
about
think
that.
as if I was Sarah, I would have even entertained that conversation.
Yeah, because you don't see him trying to like outside of when he was getting married. He saw the two older kids.
Hmm.
You don't see him like trying to. You don't see him sitting on the phone talking to the kids. The only time you see him interacting with the one kid is on the game, and that's it. Granted, maybe he does more, but just from the past, he wasn't doing more in the past. Maybe now that he's married, maybe she's pushing him to do more. I don't know. But to go so hard, like I wanted to adopt her, and I've been there. Like he's been there for a couple years, but I mean he wasn't there for that girl's whole life. Like he pretty much just met this little girl too. Like with what she was pregnant, so he's known this little girl maybe 2 years. I mean, so it's not like I've raised her since she was a baby. You ain't been there, you know. It ain't like that. Not to say that what he's done doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Because she has been a father figure consistently for 2 years. So I give him that.
And financially, he's been taking care of the
Yeah,
little
he's
girl.
taking care of her and
But
he's been whatever, whether he's been a great father figure or not, like he's still been that man that's been constant in her life for 2 years where she didn't have that at all. So I do give him his props for that. But the fact you got six other kids you ain't did all that for, like to me, the kids watching it are probably offended by the way you going hard for this little girl. Now, I believe the stepdad or the real dad coming back in. It's like he said, oh, he's gonna come in and is gonna take my place as the father figure. Like, yes, that's his place, that's his child, which is true. He's
yeah,
like, but you know, I've been there. Then he's like, gonna come in and he's gonna take, you know, her and then, you know, Sarah. Like his whole complaint isn't about that little girl, I don't think. I think
no.
it's about Sarah. You're scared he's gonna take your wife and break your
And
family up.
then some I was kind of getting some vibes from Sarah. Like
But
she would have been pleased if they had have gotten the fight, if they had started getting into a physical fight, which I didn't really care for. I'm like, because this is your husband and your baby dad. You shouldn't want that. But I kind of had that feeling because, like, at one point, I don't know if y'all caught it. She was like, well, me and you, we already discussed that, there's going to be no me and you. Why would you say that in front of your husband?
I think because of what he said.
No, she said that before. I think,
I thought she
yeah, I
said that
thought she said
after.
it first.
So
She said it before.
Yeah, because she was trying to defend. She was like, well, Sean, he's just a little upset, but I let him know that la, la, la. And I'm like,
hmm
why would you say that? That's not helping the situation right now.
I have to go
Yeah.
back. I swear I thought that was afterwards. Because I
Mm,
thought that was her trying to clean it up.
No, that
no.
was cleaning up. I think when it came up when she said that Sean's upset because I just told him about it and he was
Hmm.
thinking other things was going on, and that's when she said it then.
So that was before he left the first time?
Yeah.
Oh.
hmm Yeah, because when he said what he said, I was like, "You ain't gonna say, but me, I'll stop you. I'm the
Yeah,
Good.
one that can stop you. You
Because
know
she
that, right?"
liked what he said.
yeah,
Exactly. And I was waiting for her to, take up for her husband at least a little bit and be like, you can say that you can have me back if you wanted to, and ain't nothing gonna stop you. I can because
Yeah.
I don't want you like that. This my
Yeah.
husband, and
Because
she
she
ain't
also,
done none of that.
yeah, she also said something else. She was like, Anthony, I think if he felt like he needed to, he would fight. And she was like, and I think Sean would do the same thing. I'm like, nah, I
hmm
don't think Sean's a fighter, but maybe he'll do what he got to do. But I don't know. I don't know. Let me push that. But I just didn't really care for. I felt that kind of vibe coming from her about the situation.
well, oh, were you done?
Was you
Um,
done?
I don't remember. So you can go ahead. I don't remember.
Oh, if you remember, feel free to cut me off. um I'm gonna go back to the conversation they had. You know, I didn't like the fact that when they sat down to talk and she's just like, yeah, I know I didn't say nothing and I know you're upset about it. And I said, I'm sorry for that. But so now I want you to sit here and talk to him and do it before the kid gets out of school. And then so when the kid's out of school, we need to do this. It's like I know I did
Yeah,
this. You need to get over it. This right here. You know, like zero consequence for her actions. That was really, really big what she did, as far as not sneaking around all this time. And yes, you do make it look that way because, and like Sean was saying, you could talk, I would understand. She needs to know her dad, but the fact that you kept it a secret this long makes it sound like something else. Because there's no reason why you shouldn't tell me she's going to see her dad. You just falsely assumed that it was going to be different. So I really don't like her whole passiveness, passe about, oh well, no, this was major. Because if it had, like I said before, it had been the other way around, and Sean was seeing one of his kids' mothers and he didn't see the kid in a while, trying to reestablish and to come to her lady saying she was sneaking, oh, she would have threw a fit.
Oh yeah.
I still hold to the fact that I don't think any of this would have happened if Sean would have entertained the swing.
Oh Lord.
Because when Sean didn't entertain the swing, that's when she went seeking attention and seeked attention from the baby daddy. It's like, I'm curious now. And that's how the little girl even came about. It'd be different. The little girl didn't come trying to see her dad just out of nowhere. That's where it started. So with that being said, and then while thinking it went on, because after that happened, then when Sean decided to make a change and Sean decided to show her more attention, even with the hot tub, she's like, no, I'm not in the mood. With the water balloons, oh, I'm not in the mood. You're bringing upon these thoughts. So it's not like Sean just insecure out of nowhere. You're bringing forth the insecurities. So now you pressure Sean, who finally says, okay, because he says, I'm only doing this for a little girl because you gave me zero chance to process. He goes to meet him, and he was wrong for walking up and not shaking the man's hand. Now, my issue is you got to understand, Sean, you're upset with Sarah, not with baby dad. That was Anthony, not Anthony. So you stop projecting your anger on Anthony. Now, as far as Anthony goes, Anthony has that attitude look like, oh, he looks old. That's not her type. Newsflash. Her type left her taking care of that little girl by herself for a while until Sean came along. Someone at the door? Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Someone at my door. I'm going to have to pause. Someone else take over.
Oh, you're mute. You're on mute, B.
Oh. Okay. Them two. Like 300 was saying, you just dropped this ball on me. And then another thing I had just thought about it too. I'm like, in the midst of him processing everything that's going on, you was talking to your baby daddy because now all of a sudden he want to meet her. That means you talk to him. So while I'm over here trying to process what you done already put on me, you over there
Yeah.
talking to your baby daddy. And then you want me to do even more than, letting her go see him. Now you want me to meet him too? So you didn't talk to him double time because it's like, okay, you want to meet him. You know what? I think y'all should, meet first and whatever. And then, he say whoop de whoop. So then they get there. I mean, to me, it was disrespectful to an extent because he did specifically say, I'm not ready for that yet. You know what I'm saying? You can put your hand out there all day long. Look, dude, I don't know you. I just met you. You probably got germs. I don't know. I'm not ready for that. He said it. He said, I'm not ready for that. We just need to talk first and then do what to do. I'm not friendly. You know what I'm saying? I'm already dealing with what this woman got going on. And then now I gotta come meet you. And plus, have this whole other thing throwed on this child on the fact that, oh yeah, that whole grown man that you was at the park playing with, yeah, that was your daddy. That type of stuff. So it's like a busload of emotions and stuff that he already going through. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's that part. And then for dude to say, oh, that ain't even her type, whoop de whoop or whatever. He still, despite the fact of what he say, have the mind frame of, I can get her back, do old whoop de whoop. You know, off top, that's already what he thinking. The fact that she walked up and looked so starstruck was just wow. In front of your husband, she just like, like, dang, he looking good in this shirt. You know, like she was looking at him and her husband was right there. He say what he had to say and he left. And I was like, bitch, why you still standing there? Like your husband went that way. Why are you still over here with him? And he's just in the car like, I don't know, you know, going through the motions in his head. And I'm like, this dude is finna freaking pop. All the while she's still standing over there talking to him. I don't like the dude. Whoop de whoop. That's your baby daddy. That's your husband. Don't nobody care about your opinion, sir. You ain't been here. You just not came back. I don't care about you not liking my husband. I love my husband. He here for me and our daughter. So I don't see why she stood there for so long talking to him. And then my next thought came in. She is standing there talking to her baby daddy with their child.
Yeah,
I was like, that's
that's why I'm pretty sure she
bold.
took that little girl to see her baby daddy and took Sean's baby.
Yes.
And that is just wrong.
I was like, he was gone for a little bit, and y'all just standing there having a whole conversation. I was like, dude, your baby over there too. Like,
Yeah.
I
Your
know,
wife and your baby is over there. Yeah.
I know your wife over there for one. Which I mean, once he walked off, I would have walked off with my husband and my child. Like, it's no other reason for her to be sitting up there pampering and trying to make sure he okay with the situation and stuff when it is what it is. You her daddy. He said what he said. Y'all still shook hands, and that's supposed to be it. But for her to be still standing there and like, well, no, that's too much, sir. I don't care about your feelings. You been gone, and he been here. Whether it been sitting on the sofa or whatever, this the man that I'm married to and finna be in front of her for the rest of her life, regardless of the fact if you biological or not. As long as our marriage go, that's who she gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Yes, she'll know that you the one that helped create her, which is cool, but as the years go on, that's gonna be father and that's gonna be daddy. There's like two different levels of relationships when it comes to a child. But that was my main thing. It's like, dang, you left your wife there, you let your husband leave, and you still standing there with your baby, y'all baby. That's the part that baffled me. I was like, you doing all that with your child that you have with this man. But mm,
Oh,
that's
yeah. And I was gonna bring that up too. Like as much as if the swing would have worked, they wouldn't have been there. When she first talked to him on the phone, when Sarah met his sister, he talked about getting with Sarah. When they first went to the park, he talked about Sarah, and then the baby kind of came. Then he talked about baby girl after that. Um, in the whole conversation, like I said, Sean went to the car. He should have been upset with Sarah, not with him. I give him credit for coming back because I think he actually sat there and was like, you know what? I kind of went off on him because I was upset with Sarah, and Sarah said, yeah, I just kind of told him. But it looked like Anthony was just really like, this is who my daughter's mom, my baby mama is with. It didn't, even though Sarah did explain, I just told him, he just found out. He didn't care about none of that. It's like I'm mad at him because right now he's the one that's with my baby mama. Um, the conversation at when Sean came back, the conversation could have went a lot better. And like I said at the end when he sat there and said, "Well, if I wanted," and Sean even said, "Hey, I was worried about if something more was going on, whatever else, because of how it all played out." That would be, I would think the same thing. I mean, It all happened. We ain't been touching each other or nothing. And during the time you started doing this here, of now you want him to see his daughter, um, and the mama knowing about it, and then him talking about, well, if I wanted, I could have had her. And all this time, Sarah ain't say a word. She ain't
Not a
say
word.
nothing. When she talked about her man look, she ain't defend Sean. When they stood up there and Sean walked off and talking about disrespect, she ain't really defend Sean. When he made that comment at the end, she ain't defend Sean. When Sean walked away, she ain't defend Sean. My child still sitting up there with you, with that baby daddy. You ain't bring my child. You should bring me my child, and y'all can sit there and talk so I can leave. Because I'd have walked up and said, "Oh, let me hold her right quick. All right, y'all have a good day."
Yeah.
Because,
Facts.
like
But
I said, if it was the other way around and Sean would have sat there with their daughter and was talking to one of his other baby mamas, should have been like, no, what you still standing there for?
why my baby over there? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you got to treat people the way you want to be treated. You can't take because you did wrong and be like, oh, just forgive me. I said sorry and just keep, and I can just do whatever. If you wouldn't like it, don't do it.
Yeah. And something else is she did not defend her husband, her marriage in front of her husband. So I know good and well when he does disrespectful things when it's just you and him, you don't correct him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't correct him at all.
And it was how she said it too. Like she just brushed it all off. Oh well, he just acting like that because I was hiding it from him, and he just not found out. Like dang, that's it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic.
So yeah, so that was Sean and Sarah this week. The next couple we had was Justine and Michael. So their scenes were very short, wasn't a whole lot. We see that they discussed the conversation that Michael had with Mocha. And so, he tells Justine, what was said, especially about the ring and about him appearing single. We see that Justine is disappointed, and he ends up telling her that he doesn't want to actually take his ring off. And then I don't know why I've started getting annoyed by their matching clothes and all of that stuff. He had on a shirt that said, what did it say? Excuse, no, don't pressure me. My wife is pregnant or something to that effect. I was like, even if y'all aren't wearing matching colors, you got something going on with y'all's clothing. But anyway, so they go look at houses. So they find out, they see a house. Justine really likes the house, but the house is like 1.9 million, and their budget is, I think, they either said 500 or 600,000.
600.
Yeah, and so she's trying to convince him, let's get the house, and he's like, no, we can't really afford this. And so that was them this week. That was their scenes. Any thoughts on Justine and Michael?
Oh yay. Um, I'm officially no longer turned on by the cat suit. This episode changed my whole idea on that. I understood the discussion uh about taking the ring off. You have the discussion. I was and he actually sat there and said, you know what? At the end of the day, my family's more important. I had to think about some stuff. I'll go a different route. I may not be as big as I probably would have been if I played it off, but it's nothing to make my family unhappy. And she brought up the point that even when you wasn't locked up because you're on tour and stuff, you weren't able to be there for the kids. And actually thinking about that, I thought that was a great level of maturity on his part, as well as a great level of insight on her part. Loved it. Then we go look at the houses. Now all of a sudden, she wants him to take the budget of 600 because now he's trying to be fiscally responsible. Like, listen, I've got a few things, I got some things going well, but nothing guaranteed that it's going to increase on that level, especially if I'm not going the route of being the single man. And she's like, and so when they talk about it and they say 1.9, she's like, oh, well, things are going good. Oh, things are just great. Things will just get better because now she wants the house. So now you're saying is, are you willing to compromise everything you said to get the house and the lifestyle you want? Now you're sounding more like of the person that likes the what you was telling him less of, which is the glitter and the glam. But knowing that if he does that, he's not going to be at home. That ring has got to come off. You basically rare that you can have both. And I agree with him. You haven't me put myself in a situation we don't even have a guaranteed financial stat yet. Because imagine this, imagine the barbecues, imagine this. So what happens when you have to lose it all because you jump too big too quick without finding out? That house don't have to come tomorrow. You got 8 kids. So let's make sure we got something set aside for them 8. You can be comfortable, live nice, and take care of the mate without a $1.9 million house. And I respect him enough for somebody who's lived in that limelight, who's bought the stuff to actually look back now and say, I need to do right. I give him 110%. But her saying that right there, it almost I wouldn't be surprised if the question came. It's like, baby, are you really feeling me? Or are you just looking at my look and thinking that at some point that you'll have this lifestyle also? Because she's had to struggle throughout these years
Yeah.
with with her kids and stuff.
Yeah, he pretty much said everything I was gonna say. And the fact that he told her too, well, you do know that I'm gonna have to work more and I'm gonna have to be away more. And you was already complaining about me being in the studio for a couple hours.
Uh,
And she pregnant now. Which I don't think I would ever wear one of those suits because it just looked weird on her indeed. But yeah, I don't have too much to say about them either because like she acting like a Gemini with this flip floppity stuff. Sorry to the Geminis, I still like y'all to extinct. But that was straight flip floppity, like, oh, keep the ring on, da da da, da, and we just gonna do what it do. And then you see this house, and it's like, oh, you got it. It's gonna be good. You finna make all this money, and y'all women got a $600 budget with a baby on the way. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about them.
Um, so I agree with what y'all said. And I don't know how much I used to live in Vegas, and I don't know how much the housing market has jumped. But like, yes, they need a big house, but it don't really have to be that big. Because right now you're in a townhouse and y'all making do. So I feel like they could find something more reasonable. And for 600,000, they still can find something really nice. Like you don't have to go to a 1 point some million dollar house. Because at first when they pulled up, you only could see a piece of the house. And then when they first walked in, I was like, it's okay. But then when they went further in, I'm like, oh, it's actually really nice. But in the pool, I wasn't impressed with either. Um, but the house was pretty. I give them that. But I'm like, but don't just jump at the first house you see either. Like that's the whole point of house hunting. Like get an ideal, like a range of what you want to pay and all that stuff, and look at other options because you might find a $550,000 house that's just as beautiful. You just got to look. You know what I'm saying? So, and then if he's saying like this means I'm out to work more, and you already complaining, I was kind of annoyed that she was like, yeah, but I don't have to. She's like, but you're not gonna take the ring off. I'm like, that's the only thing that's important. Like he can keep the ring on. Like obviously, a ring does not stop anybody, especially no groupie, from wanting your man. So like,
right.
if he gonna work more and be gone more, he still could be cheating on you. So not to say he's going to do that, but you too worried about him just keeping the ring on. But like, he's telling you like, I'm gonna have to do more to make sure. If you want this life, like I got to live that lifestyle. And it's like she's not paying attention. She's like, I don't know, I don't want budgets. I don't like budgets. Now you need a budget when you talking about a 1 point some million dollar house. Cause like Jerome said, like you're gonna mess around and be out on the street with all your kids.
So you made a
So
very good point. A $1.9 million house with 8 children to feed.
yeah. So the
And they
minute
didn't
something
count the
goes
bill.
wrong, they're gonna
Oh,
take
That's
that
yeah, the
house.
new
another.
baby.
He's
Hmm.
not buying the house cash. He's it's gonna be a loan. So and like he said, even if they put down whatever amount of money, you still gonna have a mortgage, and it's still gonna be a lot. And if he doesn't continue, like, yeah, his royalties from his past music, his shoes been doing good, but it's been doing good for them to have a budget of 600K, not 1.9 million. That's a huge difference. Like he said, you talking about tripling the price. No. So I was kind of annoyed with her on that because I'm like, dude, look at what you saying. Like this house is to me for that price, they probably could even went somewhere else and found a better one. Like I got you the land and all that, but I mean, literally for that price, they probably could have had a better house. It might not have been as
Yeah.
much
Well, it also
land.
depends on what area they were in too, because some areas, you know,
Yeah, but I mean, you're not like she was correct in the aspect, just like the realtor said. When it come to land in Vegas, that's not what like literally. Unless you like old school and been there like a long time, having land is not. It's kind of like most cities now, like where they're stacking houses like back to back, back to back. You don't get a lot of land in not in Las Vegas. You might have to go like Reno or somewhere else. I don't know, but Las Vegas, no, because they put as much as they can. As the city grows, they got to put more houses. But she's being really, to me, that's irresponsible. Like 600K is a lot. If he can afford that, stick within your budget because you got a baby on the way. Like I said, like everybody's saying, like y'all, she doing the most now, but you want him to still be this family man, but yet you want that life that you don't want him to live to get that money. So make a decision. Like she said, stop flip flopping. Like B said. That's all I got.
all right. So Amber and Puppy. Okay. So the saga continues with them. All right. So Amber and Puppy, they end up hugging it out. They get into Amber's car, and Amber takes them back to her house. Okay. And so once they get in the house, Amber kind of shows Puppy around, and then they go into the room that TC is in. And so Amber walks out the room for some reason to go do something, and Puppy and TC they start kind of chatting. And so Puppy's trying to make small talk with them. How are things going? And then she kind of says something about Amber. I can't remember what it was, but it kind of started the conversation. And so TC is, he starts talking a little bit to Puppy. Not necessarily just talking about his feelings, but just kind of talking about the way things are going between him and Amber. Oh, I know what it was.
The
She
drinking.
had made a remark about Amber's drinking. And so TC was like, yeah, and then, we can't have a conversation, when she's drunk like this or whatever. And so um, Amber ends up coming back in the room and she's like, well, we don't communicate. We don't communicate. He won't communicate with us. And then she starts talking about how she was breaking down about the baby at one point, and he watched her cry. He didn't comfort her. He didn't try to talk about the situation. And then she had also mentioned that she was alone when she went to go have the abortion, which that was something I had brought up. Like, why is he not with her? Why you couldn't take off work to go with her during this? This is something important. And so, she brought up the fact that she had to go there all alone. And then when she came back, they ended up getting into it, and he um like blamed her for what happened or whatever. And so her and TC end up getting into it, and Puppy starts crying like while they're fighting, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't, I'm sorry," or whatever. She just kept apologizing, and TC tells her, "Well, it happens all the time. It gets like this all the time, and she does have a drinking problem, and that's one of the reasons he doesn't like talking to her about things." All right, so thoughts on Amber and Puppy this week?
Mm, I mean, I don't really have a lot. It was good to see Puppy and TC be able to talk. Um, and I like TC's direct approach. I was like, whoa. He's like, hey, I don't mind you being here, but leave all that nonsense over there. He was pretty much to the point, and I'm glad Puppy received it as such that not to be offended by it. He's like, I don't mind you being here. Puppy was just really trying to make conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she does have um Amber does have a problem,
Yeah,
and that's why I was glad to hear like before when her parents turned her down for the bar. I mean, the bar is really not the place she needs to be working.
right.
You pick something totally different. And Puppy tried to talk to her about the drinking before. Um, and TC is pretty much at the point. It's like when you're drinking, there's not a lot I can do. You're gonna be who you're gonna be. I've kind of had a little experience with that, and there's not a lot you can do because they're just gonna be angry and rebellious. Um, I don't know what's gonna happen with them. I think for once to see Puppy actually on the side of of being decent, and now it's Amber that's a little off on this one. But no, Puppy, it wasn't your fault. It happens. It happens all the time, and Amber's gonna have to deal with it, or she's gonna end up not only losing Puppy but losing TC. In
Yeah.
my opinion, that's it.
Oh, okay. Puppy got a lot of free time on her hands now that she got away from that man. All right, Dave, you turned to a whole counselor now, girl. You barely got away out of your situation, but okay. But yeah, I was with TC when they first walked in. Like, first of all, when we walked in my house, say, "Hey, TC, something." Y'all just walked on in here. But yeah, she go to the bathroom, and they conversate and stuff. And I mean, I gotta be controversial in a
Uh-oh.
sense. In a
What is
sense,
she about to do?
I was sitting here brewing while he was talking. I'm like, well, how can I make this controversial real fast? Um, in a sense, it's like, okay, yeah, you
What?
want to talk about your friend and make it seem like you
No.
care and all this stuff. But let's not forget when you was at that gym that, you know, it's kind of like one of those aha moments, like I'm not the only one having problems. So let
Oh,
me
you
just
felt that?
yeah, so let
Mhm.
me just sprinkle this up in here real fast and see if he'd take the bait. And he took
Huh.
it.
He
She
did. He
reeled
did.
him.
As soon as she remotely said, I think all she would have had to say was drinking. Ooh, I'm thirsty. He was going to spill it because it looked like he's been wanting to say something to somebody.
Yep, like aha. I knew y'all had problems. Like I'm not the only one who have problems. Since you want to make it seem like y'all just this and
Oh, they
that. Let
were
me.
perfect. They were the Huxtables if you let Amber tell it.
Yep. So let me just see. What y'all if y'all really about what you was talking about, and yeah, y'all not. Y'all really not. And yeah, that was her golden opportunity, baby, and she jumped on it, and whew, it got crazy. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, after the whole baby situation, it's like her whole senses did go like out the window because one, if you got a drinking problem, you don't try to own a freaking bar. Like,
Yeah.
no, no. It's like you how you gonna sell it and you smoke it. So
Yeah.
you
Don't
don't
get
mix
high on your own supply.
not together. Not together. But that was pretty much I had for those two. I like how I mean I don't like how she did it, but I peeped what she was doing there with trying to see, where y'all really at in that relationship. But yeah, that's it.
Um, so for me, I feel like like even though we say it's good to see Puppy in a good light, like really Amber has been a hothead for a minute. It goes all the way back to when Amber snapped on her and hit her at that party or whatever.
Yeah, start trying
And
to
it,
choke her. Yeah.
yeah, tried to choke her. That's what it was. Choked her at the party. But nobody's looking at the fact that like Amber's not like granted, yes, Amber has been a great friend to Puppy. Anytime Puppy need her, Amber's there. But Amber also does a whole lot of projecting. Like she won't take accountability for anything. And then even when Puppy tries to talk to her, like, and that was evident in like even that what an episode or two ago
Hmm.
when she tried to talk to her, like that
It
night
did.
when TC showed up and was saying something like, and she was like, "We're not drug dealers." You know, like even
Yeah.
with that night alone, like she was talking to her, and then she just kept on like, just she just projects like she don't have no problems. Her relationship is perfect. It's your problems. Your relationship is the one that's broken. Don't you know what I'm saying? And then if she says, "Well, I just feel like this," then she's like, "Well, I feel like this," and blah blah blah. It's almost like it's a tit for tat every time, and it's like always she's the more aggressive person. So I think the problem is that like now you got two people against her, and they're both calm because to me a lot of times Puppy does come at her very calmly when they have their disagreements. And then Amber gets like kind of loud to me, but and not to say that the calm is right because you can come calmly as somebody and still be wrong, but she it's just Amber's just like real defensive and always like um I don't know, she don't see herself,
No.
and
'Cause
so
then, like with the whole drinking thing, she was basically making it seem like she's over drinking because she had to terminate the pregnancy. But
if that's the case, get help, like
yeah,
because
the drinking is not going to make you feel better.
yeah, because
That's
you actually most people when they have situations like that, they don't know why they're drinking like that. You've already pinpointed the problem, so now you got a chance to work on the problem, but instead you keep drinking. Work on the problem. Like drinking, as soon as you sober up, that problem's still there. So you know what's causing your drinking, so work on the problem. You know what I mean? If it's you and TC bumping heads because y'all can't get along and it's not working because of this, then maybe you got to reevaluate being with a man who you feel like don't care that you going through this. That's one.
yeah.
Two, um, if everybody's telling you that this is a problem, like don't give the excuse and work on the problem. Like so you're like, well, I'm drinking because of the baby. Okay, get counseling for that, and then go to AA or something if you can't stop drinking. Like, it's just it's everybody. It's not just Puppy saying it. It's not just TC saying it. Her parents said it. To me, once everybody is saying it, then you gotta stop and think. Like, okay, I've heard this in well, I don't know how much time that passed, but you haven't heard this in 2 episodes that this person got a problem, this person. So then it's kind of you got to evaluate: do I really got a drinking problem, and not just I'm drinking because I'm upset. So I don't know. Like with her, she's so. I mean, even with TC, I feel like, granted, yes, he doesn't show the emotions that like he probably should, because like you said, he didn't go with her to the thing, and I agree too. Like he was wrong for that. It was his child too, and they did eventually make the decision together, even if he didn't really, like because I feel like he didn't really want the baby, but then it was like one of them things where it's like lose her or lose the baby. He said he'd rather have her. So, it's a decision that had to be done, kind of, if you getting put in a medical situation. But then it's like, um, again, I go back to like she's not even taking into account that maybe he is going through something with it too, and that's why he shuts down. I don't know. I just feel like right now her relationship is a hot mess,
Yeah.
and you let Puppy in to see it firsthand, and now Puppy, like you said, she's saying like, "Oh, so you sat here and dogged me and Eric out, but now I see."
Mm,
But you let her in, so you open the doors to your unperfect house. Now deal with it.
yeah.
I agree. But for the record, I'll say the level of Puppy and Eric's house and TC and Amber is a little bit more night and day because Eric is whoa.
Yeah, but
But
Puppy never said she didn't that her house was perfect or nothing like that. I'm saying like Amber been betraying like, oh no, we're nothing, like we're good, and then she's saying like that they're not as good as she say they are.
right, you're right.
Cause Puppy, like she made it clear like this dude cheating and everything else, but
Hmm.
she was too naive to leave, or as we say, she may have been abused, and we don't know the case because she seemed like she's doing a lot better now. She's not there, so which leads me to believe she probably was being abused.
And you're right. And naive. Naive not meaning that she just wasn't there, but he might have brought her esteem and thought
Mhm.
because
Oh, he
for a while
definitely
she was
did.
just like, I'm not good enough. Like, where am I
Yeah.
gonna go? Who's gonna want me?
And Puppy's pretty. That's why I was like, girl, you could do better than that dude. Like when I first saw him, I was like, really? Hmm. But
I think Amber need to straight up tell Puppy like, hey, I feel you. I know you a friend. You trying to be a friend and all. But baby, you is not the person for me to take advice from. At all.
You know
And
what?
just leave it
For
at that.
Yeah, for me, I feel like neither one of them need to be giving each other
Yeah.
advice because the way Amber used to just beat Puppy's head down with how bad Eric was when you knew your house wasn't that good. Now, if it's all flipped around, if Puppy starts doing that to Amber, oh, Amber is not gonna be able to handle that. We're gonna see her break down every week and have these meltdowns.
she might
So I
choke her
feel like
again, so I hope she
they,
don't do
the
it.
two of them, they need to leave their relationships out of their friendship.
Yep.
But see, but I think Puppy comes at her with the drinking because she's concerned, and even
Mm-hmm.
that's been like a. Mm-mm. So maybe Puppy just got to be
But
just that
see,
friend that's
ain't
just
the
there sometimes.
drinking what made her not be able to carry the baby in the first place?
Well, some with her liver, but she claimed it wasn't the drinking.
I thought she had said that the drinking is what
She said the
destroyed her
Oh,
drugs
she
liver.
messed up her
drugged.
liver.
Yeah, her
The
prior
drugs.
Oh,
drugs.
the drugs. Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
I think it had to do with drinking too because if you've seen in previous episodes, like prior to like even the baby and all that, remember when Puppy was like Amber was sloppy drunk trying to flirt with Puppy, and Puppy was like, "Come on now, don't do that." And we actually saw Puppy being like, "Chill, stop." And then Amber
Yeah,
was
because
all
when
on
she
top
gets
of her.
drunk, she flirts with Puppy, but when
Yeah,
she's sober, she don't want Puppy.
yep. And that's confusing for
Oh,
Puppy. And Puppy was like, "Don't do that, please don't."
Mm-hmm.
So
wow.
yeah, so that's why I say Amber is not perfect, but she's the more before she was the more like the one who when they got out of jail she kind of got her stuff together a little more quickly, and she was the one who was like we cannot go back to jail, we can't do silly stuff, and I still think she got that mentality, but after that baby she let her drinking get worse, and then it's like she don't want to hear that because it's like, well, it's because of the baby, but you still have a problem if nobody trusts you. Like, you know what I'm saying? This was an opportunity that was missed because of your problem. Like, if you didn't
Mhm.
let this be a problem, your parents might have loaned you the money. So to me, the alcohol needs to be addressed because now the alcohol has just lost you a huge opportunity. So had that not happened, maybe I'd be like, you know what, let it, she dealing with it how she deal with it, but it lost you money and a chance to actually be independent again like you want to be. So now this problem needs to be addressed. And so as they're telling you, nobody's gonna help you with nothing if you still gonna continue drinking like that. If you drinking and can sustain yourself, but you can't. Because at the end of the day, ain't TC taking care of her. She don't work right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember on one episode she was saying, "You can't kick me out because I pay bills here just like you do." But maybe she's using her WeChat to pay for it because she doesn't work.
Probably, yeah. I be forgetting about that weed check. Everybody who don't work actually getting checks. I forgot.
Yeah.
So that's probably why Taylor and them ain't lost their house yet. They still get the weed checks.
Mm-hmm. They probably just push out all their bills. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. So the next couple we saw was Taylor and Chance. Here we go. So Bobby comes over to visit. Chance wants to know where are they going, when are they going, how long are they going to be going. And when he was asking these questions, I was like, what is he up to? Why does he want to know the location exactly? Does he want to make sure he don't run into them? And how long is he trying to get back to the house before they come back? Because he's supposed to be watching the kids, right? And so then Taylor, which I'm sure B will, I was going to say about this. Taylor tells him, you can't have company here. Like he's a teenager babysitting some kids. And he's like, why can't I have company over, Mom? She's like, because you're watching the kids. You can't have company over. But so anyway, her and Bobby they leave, and she tells Bobby about the girls that, she has seen Chance talking to that are supposed to be his friends and about the deleted messages. So Bobby tells her that she doesn't look like herself, which is true. This season, she appears to have let herself go. I mean, last season it seemed like she tried to fix herself up a little bit or whatever. And so Bobby, tells her, looks like you let yourself go. You look stressed, you know. So while, um, oh, okay, so then it's like the next day or a couple days later. I know it's another day. And so Taylor is at home checking this man's location. And she sees he's moving around during the day while he's supposed to be at work. So then she ends up calling her sister, and Bobby comes over. Because Bobby's like, basically telling her, you got all these red flags, kind of like, what are you gonna do? She wants to go and pull up on him. So we find out that Chance has actually been delivering groceries to make money because he's still not working and he still hasn't told Taylor. So that's how he's coming up with money here and there, I guess, to keep her from finding out what's going on. All right, and so her and Bobby, they get in the car and we find out that Chance has stopped answering Taylor's phone calls, which of course has also got her mind going. And we actually don't get to see when they pull up, but we do see that Chance is currently, or the way the cameras is making it appear, he's currently out with another woman and they're drinking. So I guess next episode we will get to see. I didn't see the clips for the next episode, but I guess we'll get to see, Taylor catching him in the act. Any thoughts on Taylor and Chance this week?
It was so
You ready,
toxic.
Rick?
I loved it. Look, them pulling up on him. I'm like, I was all for it. I ain't gonna lie. But so rewinding it back to when she was like tracking him.
Mm-hmm.
I know be mad, but I know she mad. I ain't about tracking him, but I mean, if you're gonna track him, then use it for good use. And to me, finally, she put that tracking to good use. I'm like, good, do something with this. Like, I'm sick of you just watching him move around and complaining. Go find him then, shoot. But so the part that had me tripped out though, like I'm like, I didn't catch the part where she said you can't have company, so I must have missed
Yeah.
something. But that's weird. Now, if she's saying you can't have no females over, like that should be common sense. Like, and I think the kids will tell. But if he had a male friend or somebody, just a homie that came over, like I don't see the problem in that. But anyways, um, when the kids was like, "What are you doing, mommy?" She's, "I'm playing a game," and they were like, well, "She said the B word, mommy," and then they had a broom handle or something was like hitting her, like, "Mommy." She's so into this track and she like the kids and then burnt down the house and she just like, well, where did he just go? Why did he move again? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they told us the one to us, mama, she's cussing. She said the B word, mom, hitting her with a broom and she don't even. I was like, that jump was funny to me. I was like, wow, you worried about him having company and not watching the kids, but you sitting here right on TV tracking them and your kids is telling you, hey, the other one's up here cussing and they hitting you with a broom and they still can't get your attention. I'm like, come on now. Ain't no way. As soon as you hit me with that broom, I didn't mind what, you know what I'm saying? She didn't even care. Just like, with that little pitiful face she be doing. I'm like, stop being so insecure because when she put her makeup on, she was cute. You know what I'm saying? Before Chance, she actually was like working, taking care of her girls with the help of her sister, but she was doing it on her own. Now it's like you some pathetic housewife that don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, stop it. This is not who you are. And that's why I agree with Bobby. Like, you weren't like this. Like, what have you become over this man? Like, then go back to work. Do something with yourself because obviously you sitting here tracking him with your fake video game is starting to make you into like something that you ain't. I believe like she's becoming more insecure than what I feel like she was prior to. Now she may have always been insecure, and I don't agree with her saying, "Hey, I'm so insecure." Like saying like, "Hey, my body's changed. I'm not comfortable in my skin." Like those are ways to say you're insecure without saying you're insecure. But to just come out and be like, I'm insecure, like that's to me to somebody who plays on it. And if that's him, you gave him more ammo, and I don't like that. But The fact that he actually did meet up with, and this might just be this homegirl that he's been talking about, is just strictly a homegirl, and they may legit just be sitting in the bar having drinks to talk. But she already said she gonna punch him in the face. I'm here for it. You know, I'm like, I be about some drama on here because I'm like, man, y'all be doing all this little stuff, messing with us, and then don't nothing happen. And then the couple fights we had, there's only maybe two good fights, and that was Brittany and Kevin. I'm like, I need a real good fight. Like, I want to see some more of that Kevin type, bow, knock him out, or that Brittany like bust your friend in the face type stuff. Like, I enjoyed those because I was like, hey, y'all get what's coming, y'all. But
Your toxic side is coming out.
yeah, the toxic piece of me, I'm like, let's get, because I mean, I'm like, they've been doing toxic little toxicy stuff, but it just ain't been what it is. And like we is like leading us on. Like this is, with the fake scenes, with the bathroom noises and John, her doing the picture stuff. Stop playing with us and like let's see something happen. Cause even with girl standing up for herself the next day, he's squirting food on her face. Let's see something happen. So hopefully next week we see something happen when she catch him in that bar. And if you can explain it, now I hope she don't fight the girl for no reason, but she need to go out
Yeah.
with him
Maybe
because
we gonna see some, and she got her sister with her. So if she's
well, I want to see him
maybe
get put
it'll
in
be
his place
different.
because honestly, like if you are cheating, leave. Don't threaten to leave. Don't be like this and that. You know what I'm saying? Go if you don't want to be there. But if you want to be there, then act right. Like that's all I got to say.
Reese said everything for me. Yeah, she finally did put that track in the use though. I was like, okay. But the not paying attention to the kids, I was in the same boat. And even the fact that they had poked her with it, one of them was using the broom as a balance beam. Like before the sister came in,
I didn't
I
even
was
see that.
like, no.
I didn't even see that. I missed that.
Yeah, like right before she came to the door, they was about to step on it and was doing like this, like trying to balance on it. I was like, oh my gosh, they
She
just
didn't pay
doing
them kids
whatever.
no attention. She just got the
I
baby and
was
that was it. She don't even know if she watching the baby for her. She was on that phone.
yes, I'm like they get
Yeah, if
so
that baby
caught up
could
in these
crawl, she wouldn't have
men.
been watching it.
No, because they hitting her with a broom and she ain't know it.
Yeah, they get all wrapped up in these men and forget all about these kids. Like old girl who left her daughter with the sister so she can go home and drink wine
Some
and
camera.
call him, blow his phone up, and wait for him to get home
Hmm.
to cut. Like no, they just these
Yeah,
men
they're not showing good examples of single moms.
exactly, and they daughter they just starting a whole cycle, and I don't think none of them think about that either. Like,
Yeah.
would you want your child to go through the stuff that you're going through and bring home somebody from jail and wondering if they cheating or not, searching their phones, tracking them like
Mhm.
they a deer. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, she said everything for me.
I agree. The kids part got me when they was poking and doing everything, but it just seems from season after season, there's at least one person that just like I'm focusing on this man. I ain't worried about the kids, whether it be the woman that left her job and moved and bought a house, and the daughter's like, I guess I'm staying over here wherever. Um,
Yeah.
or even with Eris and Cameron, I forgot about that part. After ultrasound, she's like, I just want to make sure that they don't forget about me. I'm like, well, I've already got flew back early and sent over while they have a wait for him to come home and stuff. So I can understand why she feel that way. And now this. I'm waiting to see what happens. I'm curious if it's I think the girl's name was Taylor, the one where he said that, well, I can't forget about her because she was giving me like $200 and some every week,
Mhm.
when I was locked up,
I feel like that's who he
so
met up with.
yeah. So that's probably who he met up with. And then you got to wonder too. I mean, is this somebody who was just being a friend giving 200 a week, or was it someone,
Who liked her.
yeah, like her? So who knows? And so I think Taylor's more than just a friend. I mean, because people will say whatever to cover themselves, but
Yeah.
I
Well, not
really think,
Taylor, the other girl.
huh?
And ain't that who he was calling Taylor or his dumb girlfriend or what did he say? His
Yeah, he called Taylor his dumb girlfriend to her.
yeah, like
Oh,
she tracking
Tanya. I
me.
think her name was Tanya.
Tanya. Okay. Yeah, I know I had the name. I knew I didn't. I had messed up the name, but yeah, this girl ain't just sending you this money just to be sending it. Unless y'all were just old classmate, old friends, or whatever else.
Oh,
But if she makes yours in there,
yeah, unless she holding money for you.
right. But I think when she was holding the money for him, he had already went and got tried to get that money from him by now.
Yeah.
The way he been doing. But
But
that's it.
something else, like if you're talking to a friend,
Hmm.
you can say like, man, my girlfriend, she keep tracking me, she doing this, it's just frustrating. You ain't gonna be like my dumb girlfriend. Like, I don't know, it's just ways to word it to where
Yeah.
you're leaving a door open that this
There's
is
a
my
problem.
girlfriend, but I'm not happy versus this is
Hmm.
my girlfriend and I'm venting to you about our problems. And to me, but the way she, I can't remember exactly how they worded the text, but to me, it's that more of the leaving the door open to show you I'm not happy. I got a girlfriend, but I'm not happy.
Hmm. Right.
Versus I got a girlfriend and we having problems and I'm trying to vent. Because what do you think I should do?
Right.
Okay. So our next couple was Blaine and Lindsay. All right. So the scene opens up. Lindsay is having a meltdown. This is leftover from last week's episode. And so she runs into the house. I think she locked herself in the bathroom, but anyway, she's in the room, and she calls her sponsor, but she's talking loud enough where Blaine can hear her. You can hear what she's saying. And she's telling the sponsor that Blaine is not pulling his weight and everything is on her. It was easier for her when she was in prison. Now, in this instance, I do have to defend Blaine a little bit. She got with Blaine knowing that Blaine does construction. Yes, and most people understand construction is not steady throughout the whole year. So you knew there's going to be downtimes for him. You should understand that he's probably going to need you to step it up financially sometimes. And if that's something that you feel like you can't do, you probably shouldn't be dating a construction somebody that works in the construction industry. That was just my thought. I felt bad for the way that she was talking about Blaine. Um, she ends up coming out the room, and Blaine is like, I don't really know what to say to you. I think because he feels like anything he says, she's just gonna continue to go off. And so she ends up telling him, well, let me see how you pay this light bill without me. Which I don't know. I didn't like the way I felt like she was demasculating him again, B. She just didn't have his legs in the air. But she was definitely talking down to that man. All right. And so Blaine ends up packing a bag and he walks out the house. She sees him and she's like, if you jump into one of my vehicles and leave, I'm calling the police. You'll be in jail before the morning. Which I didn't like her saying that either. I'm like, he is on house arrest. Maybe you could have said something different to that, but clearly he needs to calm down. Nobody can sit there and just take a verbal abuse that you're spitting out and just sit there and just take it. And that's what I almost felt like she felt like he should do. Like he should just sit on the couch and listen to her go off on him. Okay. And so Blaine tells us that there has been times since he has gotten with Lindsay that he had to take care of her financially. And so right now he feels like she's being an ungrateful bitch. And so then we see Lindsay actually packs up her car and her animals, and Lindsay leaves. Blaine calls her, and he tries to talk to her and tells her he doesn't want her to leave. Um, but she didn't turn that car around and go back home. So, any thoughts on Blaine and Lindsay this week?
Not a lot. I just think you say a lot of things when you're angry,
Hmm.
and you shouldn't. Like she just reached a breaking point. Like Reese said earlier, is that this is basically all a trick to me. It's all a trigger from the daughter, and it just everything
Hmm.
just stood up from there. Um, she went way too far talking to the sponsor out loud, and like you said, demasculating, emasculating him in the process. And it seems like a lot of times he pretty much just kind of takes it because he seems like he not saying he doesn't get upset, but he's more of the soft, more of the like,
Yeah.
okay, I really don't
Okay.
want to argue type.
Yeah.
And I think she plays on that. I will say again, you made your choice. But anyway, the fact that he was the one that took a second to call back, to call and try to reason after everything she said, everything she did. Um, Not saying he wasn't guilty, because yeah, he could have been cleaning more, he could have been doing more. He was slacking on his part, but it wasn't like it was a case of I'm out here spending up the money, I'm out here lying, I'm out here cheating. It's like none of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's household stuff that can easily be resolved without going to 20. Kind of like we were saying earlier with Eris and Cameron, is that yeah, it didn't have to go that far, but you can't expect it to go that far that somebody's going to be like, okay, cool after that. And she just went way beyond everybody at this point. Um, and when he tried to apologize, she was still in her feelings, like, okay, whatever, bye. I mean, this man is sitting here in tears and all.
Yeah.
You get a man
He,
that's sitting
he
here and
ain't ready
yes. If you get a man all snot nose and he ain't really, and it ain't from like cheating or whatever, this man is pouring his heart out. And if that ain't showing you right there that this man is at least trying, like even when he did the thing and not telling her, I get he was wrong for not telling her. Even I said that. But the fact that the intent was to show I could do something to figure that would make her happy, that was the first straw. She sits there and it's just like, not my way, I'm going to 10. This time, not my way, I'm going to 20. I hate to say it, but I think he could do better.
Okay.
And the award for most dramatic couple.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. She got on my last nerves, and I know she felt very milky at the end with all this stuff in the back of the car. Got the cat and the dog, and he like, I just want you to come back home, and just like, well, I kind of already over exaggerated, so I gotta kind of like keep going.
Yeah.
So she like, I don't know what to do, but it was too much. It was too much. I'm like, the dude is on house arrest. He can only do so much. I had said that from the last episode. Like he can only do so much, and you steady nagging at him, and it's only been like a couple of days. Like I don't know how long it is in between episodes, the time
Yeah.
frame, but it's like
Seemed
it
like they
don't seem.
picked back up after that fight. So remember,
Huh?
she hit the garage, and then they came back with him hitting the garage. So that
Yeah.
was
So
still
it's
right after
pretty.
they dropped the daughter off.
Yeah. So it's like y'all just went paintballing and was rolling on the ground and stuff. Now you whining and crying about bills and stuff. So I don't get her at all. And she very much, I don't like, I wouldn't say, I would say her character, because I mean, she's still on the show. So she basically is still a character. I don't like her character because she is like one of the masculinist person ever. Like all she do is demasculinate this
She does
dude
not respect men at all.
at
Mm-mm.
all. And I was like, well, shoot, if you would have treated old boy, the black dude, right, you probably wouldn't be going through all this because he was taking care of you. He was buying you all this stuff and all that. You wasn't worried about all this, but
You made your choice.
you wanted the guy from jail. So here you go. This house arrest dude that's not gonna be able to do everything that you want him to do. And a lot of people get the misconceptions in relationships, thinking that all the time it's gonna be this man taking care of me, when sometimes they not gonna be able to, and you're gonna have to pick up the slack sometimes. And whether it's all the bills, some of the bills, part of the bills, if you really love that person and you want to be there for them, then you take on what they can't do, just like he
Yeah.
did it when you wasn't able to.
Yeah.
But to pack up everything, and I was like, "Where's the daughter?"
They had
Oh,
dropped her off. She
yeah.
with the mom.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay, you're right. Mm. It was just overly dramatic to me, and her saying that she will report the car stolen if he left was just even more overboard. Like they could have easily talked about the situation and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I
It didn't
know,
have to go there. Yeah.
yeah, like I know we all reach a boiling point, especially when you have a lot of stuff on you. But from y'all having fun to now punching the garage and rolling down the street with a cat and a dog in the back, like that's too extreme for me. I want to see what happened next with them because I already know she gonna go back because I mean, didn't she buy the house? Like, why would
Yeah.
you
She
go to
bought
I
the
that.
think
house?
they renting
Yeah.
that place.
Oh, they renting it. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
they
Yeah.
got
that
a
trap
renting for the
house they
trailers.
bought together.
Yeah, the
yeah.
trailers what they bought.
So we ain't had no money yet to put on that trailer to make it at least
Livable.
live inside of, yeah,
Well,
livable.
you gotta realize they also rented a trailer that is not really.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that was a little cabin or something, wasn't it? Or I don't know what that was. I thought it
I
was
don't
a
know, but I
cabin.
know the daughter was turning up her nose as soon as she walked into the rental.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, she was like, "Yeah, we ain't got no signal in here," and I'm like, "I ain't got
That's
no
not.
Wi-Fi." Like, this is,
Yeah, and then she said it smelled or something. She said,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I might as well just went to the trailer,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
but yeah, I feel like Deontay he dodged the bullet. Like we can,
yeah,
I'm sure we can all say that because she's crazy. Like what she showed Deontay and what Blaine picked up that day when she was flipping out on Deontay was exactly what he got, and which I don't want to say you
He did.
saw. He saw it firsthand how she treated him, and then it was like
mhm,
when they had one issue, she's flipping out and like, come pick me up, come pick me up. If she had another man on the side and her and Blaine's for now, she'd been like telling the other man the same thing. So
yeah,
you
Yep.
can't really expect her to be a better person. However, she's terrible. She's too emotional. She's too like she made it sound like her whole point of why she's mad is because he won't say, "You pay the bills." That's obvious, baby girl. You the only one working right now. Like he know you pay the bills. You know he paid. Why does he have to say you pay the bills? The man called you crying. Like ain't that enough? Like he understands, but you
And
want him
they
to say
haven't
it
even
specifically
finished
the way you want to say
unpacking
it.
yet.
Hmm?
They haven't even finished unpacking yet.
yeah.
No. And like Nene said, it's construction. So unless he's able to travel and go to other states or go to other areas to continue on doing construction work, they're in a small town. So if ain't nothing to do in that town, ain't nothing to do in that town. You know what I mean? He gotta be able to travel. And now he's on house arrest. He can't travel. And when you accepted that house arrest thing after the last time when you showed up at the church, y'all kissed, hug, made up, that was the moment that you accepted whatever we got to do to survive. I'm gonna be the one that I'm not. You got to pull the weight because okay, he's on house arrest. Yes, he can go work, but he probably can't go that far because he's got to be able to get back home by a certain time. So he can't leave the area too far to go find work. So until something comes up in the
Are you
area.
okay?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. Sorry,
You done made him turn the camera off
my
and
bad.
mute.
My bad. It kind of threw me off when you said you okay. I'm like, yeah, because I just keep going because I didn't know what that was. All right. Glad you okay. And so, like Nene said, you can't be mad at the man for not having. He's on house arrest as well as he does construction, so he's gonna get the. It's just like Chance. Like I mean, he trying to find construction work, and we saying it's hard. And I feel like he's probably in a bigger city. Maybe I don't know. They might be in a small city too, but I don't know. Lindsay, to me, this is like since them two have been together, this is about the third, fourth, fifth time she done ran off. To me, I'm like, okay, why even call her to tell her back? Because if y'all get into any more arguments, she's gonna pack up and leave again. This time she had boxes. Like she took some of the boxes from the house. I'm like, dude, what? Was those boxes in the car from the moving over, or did you pack those boxes in the car? Because I was like, I saw her leave with a suitcase. Next thing you know, there's boxes and animals. I'm like, this is too much. Like she do the most. You taking the pets. You took a suitcase and you also got boxes. I'm like, so you not plan on coming back like ever? Like off of something that y'all hadn't even talked about? I'm like, she's too much. Like she keeps doing it. And like he said, he can't go to jail behind that. She keeps running. And he told her, he said, look, you keep running. And I don't like that. And she did it again. So it's like, you know what a person don't like. Now you're playing. So either she's a narcissist or she just crazy. I don't know.
A bit of both.
Both.
Both of them.
Yeah. Because you want him to say what you want him to say and do what you want him to do. But you can be crazy.
It's
What they
cool
do
when they
that?
do it.
Go back to church.
All right. So Brittany and Marcelino is our final
Oh, I forgot
couple.
about them.
um.
Me too.
All right. So their scenes. Luckily, they didn't have a lot of scenes. So we see the scenes open up where Marcelino is making Brittany breakfast, and then we see. I actually like these scenes. We see Giovanni, who is actually Brittany's child, with another man. So that's Marcelino's stepchild. He spends some time with the little boy Giovanni, and they talk. And then Giovanni says that he sees his parents fighting a lot, and he's referring to Marcelino and Brittany, and he just don't want them to be fighting a lot. He even suggests that he even tells Marcelino that they were really happy at Marcelino and Brittany's wedding, and maybe they should have another wedding, and then maybe they'll go back to being happy. Which I thought that was cute. It's kind of sad, but it was also cute. And so that was pretty much their scene. Any thoughts?
Don't fight in front of the kids. Remember, kids notice everything. I'm glad to see them happy and smiling more than they were before, and it was enjoyable. I liked a lot of I liked the cut scenes that showed, them, the wedding, and coming up to it. That was the best part of it. And then seeing them in the bedroom with the kid and playing around, that was awesome. That's it.
Yeah. The only thing I would say, I felt like Brittany was still being a little bossy. I don't know if y'all felt that way. That's the vibe I got. But I loved their scenes. Don't get me wrong, I did because it was all happy, and that's probably the happiest part of this whole show was their scenes. Um, and the little boy was so cute. It's sad, but it's cute because he was like, I just miss y'all being happy. Like y'all are always arguing, and I'm sad, and I'm like, oh, maybe but it's true. Arguing in front of them and having the attitude and all that, like kids pick up on that stuff. So, and even if you had the arguments, they can pick up on the your behaviors and mannerisms that y'all don't like each other or whatever. So, I like how he described it too. He was like it's I just got to adjust, and he's like the screws, and like he made it fun as he explained it, and I did appreciate that with him. Like he's probably an awesome dad. Um, I'm wondering, are they gonna try to hurry and throw a wedding in there? Is that why this all came up? Like we finna see
That's
a
what I
wedding
was
in there?
almost thinking.
A little vow renewal or something. And if they do, cool. Because I mean, if they can stay where they're at, I think they'll be okay. Only thing I just didn't like, Brittany still came off a little bossy when she was like, "All right, I'm gonna get dressed." She was like, "You go hang out with I forgot the son's name. So you go hang out
Giovanni.
with him. I'm gonna go to do yoga." And it's like,
Yeah, you would think that because he blew her back out, that she would have calmed down a little bit more.
yeah, it's still saying she being bossy, and I'm like, maybe that's just her personality, and he's okay with it. Because I mean, whatever. But it just I don't know. It still came off a little bossy, but it is what it is. Like overall, the scenes were good. They seemed happy, and then he was all like, "Yeah, let's do all the things we need to get done today, so that we can get back in the bed." And I was like, "That's cute," because I mean they actually
Yeah.
doing all right. Because them two to me were the one couple that to me have survived the longest out of everybody. And so it kind of was disheartening to see them break up after that threesome, but at the same time, it's like the drama was also getting kind of out of control. So it's kind of nice that they're not going to be on here no more after this. But I hope they can make it because I do think they're a good couple when they're actually good. And if they can just get through this hurdle, they probably be even stronger. So
Agreed.
that's all I got.
Me being controversial. They was
Uh-oh.
boring.
Yeah, they were born.
I was like, no wonder they barely be seen or have scenes or whatever. But I don't know. It just felt staged and cliche. Oh, I hate
It's
it when
the
you
happiest
guys
ever after.
fight. Take them for a walk. Talk to them. Whoop de whoop. I mean, it was good that finally somebody acknowledged how the kids feel in these situations and stuff. But I was like, this just one day. Like we all sitting on the bed, we having fun. We finally had us a good moment. Oh, that's good. Hopefully they can maintain that and keep it going. Because otherwise, I'm like, baby, one day out of all this y'all done did, it can be a start. But you know, me being controversial, y'all gotta keep it up.
Yeah. But see, we're not going to know because they're not going to be on the show, I don't think, after this season. So we're not even going to know if they keep it up.
Oh dang.
Other than just following them on social media or something. I don't know.
Oh okay.
But yeah, this their last season, supposedly.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them have their one day then.
But you're right. One thing you said, it was a good time to see like how the kids feel because I think the only other kid we've seen how they feel has been Eris's daughter when she was saying like how she felt about the baby news. Like it's a lot, you know.
Oh, Junior.
Yeah, he
Hey,
busted.
handsome. Look at him. You know he cute. Hey, handsome. Look.
And he back on the move.
Ah. But yeah, the little boy was cute though. What felt staged though was buy mommy flowers, give her a wedding. Like, did mama say that? But it was
Yeah.
cute.
Okay. Well, that was the last two episodes of Love After Lockup. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you stayed this long, congratulations, you are MVP. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe before you leave. And come back and catch us next week for our next recap. And until next time, friends, bye.